Hello, my dears. I had to take a bit of a mental health break from when my static ended to eat a sandwich and listen to an album and drink some water rather than another cocktail. So, I had an 11-hour workday followed by like 2.5 hours of streaming Savage Prog. So, it's like take a small break before jumping straight into this. Uh, I could probably make sandwiches for the whole raid, but they'll have to be small. Is peanut butter and jelly okay? It's my favorite. Because I'm still 8 years old on the inside.
So this is fresh prog. I'm assuming we're not running pures right from the get-go except for healers.
Yeah, correct. I'll explain out. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I pinged Eric without thinking about it, and I forgot to check actual rolls. Eric is always his perma melee. Yeah, so, as previously stated, I'll explain out, I kind of debated everyone. I post those lost action loadouts because those are required. We do need those actions to do anything in the instance proper. But the first time we go in, and second time, and probably third time, and probably fourth time, etc., our goal is just to get through Slimes and Barracks, which is a puzzle ad phase encounter rather than like a fight proper. You could have the biggest dick DPS in the world, all the best actions, Valor stacks, haste gear. It doesn't matter. It's a puzzle. If you fail, we wipe. It doesn't matter. So I make us take alternate holsters at the start. Also because the first time we get to the first boss, I want to do a practice pull. That is pulling to enrage without worrying about damage, so no wasting damage actions, not taking like pures and expensive re-raisers and re-raisers we need just to see the fight more, but not taking like expensive essences and stuff. There is a bit of an exception there. Healers kind of get the short end of the stick. Thank you, healers. We love you. But yeah, the first time's in, I'll explain out exactly what's required once we're actually full. But it is a lot more about getting practice down rather than actually doing a full attempt with the normal holster. Afterwards, we take a 10-minute break or so, and then we come back in with the normal stuff. The eternal, worry about this. This is always the worst part, is the roster prog. People always sign up as reserves and then do other things. Oh, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. The whole point of signing up for reserves is to be here as a reserve. Fuck.
I mean, I was progging ooh earlier, so can't really say I'm any different.
Yeah, but you at least were able to be here.
Yeah.
We have people who sign up as reserves, then do other things, and then they get pinged, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't expect to be pinged." Well, then tell me so I can take you off reserve.
My initial plan was to farm a few extra lux actions just to have a few spares. But then my friend said, "Hey, let's play Battletech," and I was like, "You know what? That's great."
Okay, so we got Eric. We got. All right. Let me actually copy this over again so I can. Yeah, thank you all for the patience. Just gotta get through my reserves, then I can worry about just pinging everybody as a whole.
Glad to have you back, Vi.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I am permanently exhausted, but that's nothing new.
Yeah, when are you not exhausted? That's the real question.
I hosted a party last Saturday for a birthday party for a friend of mine, where I like did all of the work and planning and everything. And to be fair, the party went perfectly. But then I got sick afterwards, and so like we were talking with friends, like internet friends beforehand. There's like, oh, we're doing this lovely party. They're like, oh, so Fi gets to relax. It's like, well, Fi's putting on the party, and like, well, okay, but Fi gets to relax. It's like, well, Fi's also opting to bring a whole mini bar to make people cocktails. It's like, look, acts of service are my love language. If I'm not useful, I can't be lovable. So, like, I gotta be useful. And everyone's just like, damn, dude, take a break. Alright. So I'm not seeing anything from that off tank. We had someone who literally was just talking in chat. I'm gonna DM them. Because, they were talking saying they're around to fill and then didn't do anything.
Hello. Hi, Grandpa.
Hi.
How you doing? How you doing? You
I'm
miss
living, my dude. I have, like, someone like, they've posted. I just don't know if they're available or not. But the other spots I should be able to fill, so I will keep you posted if that last spot fills or not.
Varial, what's your password?
1221.
What is that last spot? Just so I know, so I can get my gear ready.
It would be healer.
Oh, bless your soul. You mean Hank? Hey, sacrifice is a 100% chance, and it's mimicable. What you do is you slot in sacrifice, re-raise, and then somebody mimics that off of you. 12 weight for a guaranteed res.
Well, wait, there's more.
And two re-raisers.
Oh, I think I got the last person, actually. Maybe.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah, so definitely hit me up for, like, a re-clear or something. Or, like,
I just happened to be free.
Oh,
and
okay.
I was like, I want to help pay that blood debt.
Yeah, I have I've been planning a randomized caller, like, Friday night kind of run. I'll definitely keep you in the loop just in case you're free. Because I would not mind getting an ass to duel on a randomized caller run. That sounds hilarious. But yeah, I don't have any
There's
plans.
just no way.
No pressure, of course, and I don't have anything solidified
filled?
yet. Yeah, we are
filled?
good. Thank you, dear.
All right, good night. Have a great night. I get to click this little X button and disconnect from the call.
Bye, Luna. I get to start the stream up.
Poof.
Nice hearing from you, dear. All right, let me get my stream up real quick. I I can't put stream in the I can't put my stream in the Party Finder description if I'm not going to actually stream. Thank you all for the patience. As I said previously, filling is the hardest part. You saw how many people we ended up having to like ping. Sometimes you have to go pretty deep on fills. Alright. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Come all to this tragic affair. Wipe off your makeup. What's in is despair. Welcome to the run. So, couple things to talk about. Let me make sure everyone's in VC first.
Me, I'm here.
Yep, it is important for people to be in VC. This does hopefully include my Shadow Caller friends. In fact, let me jump down and tell them.
By Shadow Caller friends, he means the entirety of the server at this point.
Yeah.
True.
I read their
You
mind
shut up,
a couple
Olivia.
before.
Shadow Caller, I swear to God, Shadow Caller is gonna look like BA leads at this point. Holy fuck.
I had
Right?
to
Feel
summon
like we're on
the
the run, by the
gremlin
way.
back here. So, important stuff to talk about. Thank you everybody for prepping lost action loadouts as listed in the spreadsheet, but that is not exactly what we do the first time in. The reason being is the very first encounter, Barracks or Slime's Golems, is a puzzle fight. Damage doesn't really matter. Additionally, the first time we get through it and get to that first boss, we're going to be doing a practice pull rather than worrying too much about damage actions. So what this means, when we zone in, what I want people to use is a vaguely offensive essence just to help with the Slime's Golem puzzle. So vaguely offensive, that can be Skirmisher, that can be Aether Weaver, Martialist, whatever. Just something vaguely offensive because Slime's Golem does have a small DPS check. Additionally, Perceptors should slot Percept. There is one assigned for Slimes and Golems. And then in your bag, you should have a vaguely defensive essence, anything that gives an HP boost or defense boost, because the raid wides of the first boss will one-shot you if you don't have some kind of boost to it. So, vaguely defensive in your bag plus re-raisers in your bag. Do not use a re-raiser at the very start. You pop a re-raiser when you get to the first boss to practice. If we wipe to the very start, we want to die, so re-raiser does nothing. The exception here are our lovely healers. So, for healers, if you have the resources and are willing, you can take a pure essence in your bag instead of the defensive essence. Because if we clear Slime's Golems and people are dead on the floor, one of the only ways to get people up is for a healer to use a pure essence and use a rise on that dead body. So if we have people dead before we go to the first boss, we want to try to get them up so they can practice. Also, in the first boss, it's helpful to have arises to pick people back up, because nothing is as good a practice as dying multiple times to the same mechanic. So, to go over that one more time, everybody wants to use a vaguely offensive essence at the start, and in your bag, have a vaguely defensive essence and re-raisers, or if you're a healer, have arises, a pure, and re-raisers in your bag instead. Any other actions, damaging actions like Font and Banner, things like Rend Armor, Dervish, Cure 4, anything like that, only take if you really want to practice. Don't worry about it otherwise. If you're burning them, it is just for practice. We are not aiming to clear that first boss. Additionally, we have a good number of vets on this run. I do not want to see high damage action swapping to hard carry this run. I am very against hard carrying proggers, because that means people don't get a chance to actually learn mechanics. If I see people using excellence and action swapping, that's a really good way to never be on one of my runs again. So just putting that out there for all the vets who might want to see big numbers. This isn't the run for it. Gonna do a ready check though to get things going. Yeah, we're not doing mimic chaining on fucking Fresh Prog. Like, we've had people want to do that before, and it's like, I get it, but if you hard carry people and they're dead on the floor every fight, those are not people that want to come back. Zero confidence. Like, people, even if they get their clear, they don't want to come back to the content. I'd much rather take it a little slower with the prog cycle and bolster people's confidence over the course of multiple runs. These runs being late night, being fresh prog, you know, whatever. We're here to, like, dick around, have a good time. We're here to learn over the course of multiple runs. Basically, it's here to give you the ability to make mistakes in a safe environment to do so. If you fuck up and we wipe because of it, nothing is lost. That is just another thing to practice.
And it will happen in barracks.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and also, for context of the thing that was happening in Alliance chat, I was asking for Bubble. I wasn't asking for a Mimic.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. I just I always like to bring that up when we have a bunch of vets. And we have a lot more vets this run than normal. So
You
it's
said
like,
that right after, right? You said something about mimicking
Oh,
with
Jesus,
blood
I'm
rage,
so
and
sorry.
I was like, wait, no.
yeah. That doesn't make it any less true, but you know, that's partly why I wanted the shadow callers up here too, is just to point out like, hey y'all, so you know, this ain't the run for that. But thank you as always to our vets who come along to help out. Much love. We couldn't do this without y'all. So here at the start,
I'm very happy to be finally progging this.
yeah.
Yeah.
How long
Thanks,
has it
by
been,
the
Minnow?
It's been a while. The thing is, the Steam summer sales picked up a few weeks ago, and so I decided to buy Elden Ring. That was a mistake.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that'll do
yeah.
it. So here at the box, remember, vaguely offensive essence, that could be anything from Skirmisher to Aether Weaver to Martialist, etc. In your bag, vaguely defensive essence, as well as re-raisers. Do not pop a re-raiser at the start. No need for it. If we die, we die. Yeah, ABC goes to the west, that is Slime side. DEF goes to the east, that is Golem side. Our two Perceptors that were assigned, we assigned Percept to Anastasia Pendragon in Party C, and to Mushy Lux in Party F. Those are our two Perceptors, they should have it. If anybody else has it, that's great, but we'll teach it to them primarily. And we are also splitting voice calls. Here in the west, voice will be A, B, and C, that is Slime side. D, E, and F.
Yeah, meow.
Who's calling Golem? Oh, I find
Oh, I was gonna say Carter jumped down right away. Carter's calling golems.
I
What do you
can.
mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you want me to? Do you want me to
Do
take?
you want me to do
North
explanations too, Smile?
I'm literally duelist. Why will you not let me mimic chain? I'm literally shitting myself right now.
Yeah, this isn't the run for that, dickhead.
I want to. I don't care. I know.
Fight me IRL.
I'm
Kiss me IRL, I swear.
I am literally running.
I will.
Watcher. I'm literally running Watcher right now. I don't.
Anyway, yeah, Carter, I'm just gonna have you explain and call it if you want to. Like,
Okay.
I know you mentioned wanting to practice that or being able to do it, so
I mean, I just mentioned I can because I've called golems multiple times. I've never called slimes, but it's
Yeah.
fucking. I can explain it and do it.
I mean, you know me, I'm down to do it whenever, but
cool.
Do you want me to tank the north ad?
so
We
the
probably have
north,
enough tanks.
yeah, the north tank will be Mushy actually as our Perceptor. So also Mushy, let me show you. You can stand in front of the blue here and Percept once. If you press up against the wall here and Percept once, that lets you know if there's a trap in blue room, and then you can do the same across the way here at the white golem. That lets you check the south two rooms before actually going into them. It makes it a lot easier, and then you get to like let people know, like in yell, chat, or shout or whatever, like whether blue or white head traps or whatever. And then you will be the north hallway tank. And then I guess the floor's Carter's.
Okay, Harvin, to answer your question, the red one is the one that I'm currently on. I can take blue. Yeah, because I can take blue just to make things easier. Red is the south, right one. Okay, hello, gamers. Welcome to Golems. Are there people still at the box? I literally can't see that far anymore.
Yes.
Got it.
Probably
There are
Ian.
people still at the box. That
Ian,
is
the healer,
fine.
and my party are agreeing on stuff. I think we're
That's
good
fine.
now.
Okay, cool. So we already. Oh, can I get a tank to stand on every single pile of rocks? One except for you, Mushy. You'll be north. You'll be the north hallway ad. And can I also get a tank to be the south hallway tank? Okay, cool. We have 6 tanks. Now, on every healer except for Havarin, on every tank except for Havarin, can I get a healer, please? And for Havarin, can I get a fizz range to go with him?
I'm a summoner. Is a summoner fizz range?
No, you know the answer to this one, Fi. Thank you, Kojo. Okay, awesome.
Kojo's an
So-
necromancer. They know where the interrupt button is.
Awesome. Yes. No, they really do know that button. That's good. So Welcome to Golems. This is the, people often call it the easier side, but there's also a lot of things to talk about, so my explanations are going to be a little bit, long. So, the way this encounter goes is, like Vi said, it's a puzzle encounter. All of the golems, all of these piles of rocks that we're standing on are going to turn into these big golems with these colors around them. You'll see right now we have 2 blue and 2 green ones. There is also a red and a white golem that happen. The way I will be white golem, by the way. I realized that I'm on the white spot. So each of the tanks will get a golem on top of them. And we basically need to let the golems turn into the color of each of the room's buttons. You'll see if you look into the rooms, there's a red button, a white button, a green button, and a blue button. And we need to kill each golem on the button corresponding with, or we need to kill a golem on each button such that the golem corresponds with the color of the button it dies on. So, what we will need to do is each tank will be pulling one of their big golems into each room. And the way each one works is a little bit different, but I'll talk about the general things that happen first. I'll talk about the blue ones doing Tank Buster first, because that happens very quickly, and there's 2 of them at the beginning. Blue golems will cast a Tank Buster onto the tank who is tanking them, which inflicts a very heavy bleed. The tanks just need to either heavily mitigate this or invuln it, and the healer with them needs to Asuna them. That is just the first thing that happens, really. And then we kill the blue one first, so that goes through. And then each golem throughout the encounter will start to cast Metamorphose. Metamorphose needs to be interrupted unless you are me or Havarin, who will let Metamorphose go off 1 time, because if Metamorphose goes off, the golem will change colors to the next one in order. So the order is blue, white, then green, then red. And we want to make sure that I will be taking the white one and Varen will be taking the red one. That's just to make sure we have one of each color for each of the rooms. Other than that, they do auto you, they do hurt a little bit, but healers just stay on top of it, just kind of heal them as things go on. They don't need too much attention, but pay attention to them because the autos do hurt a little bit. Now, for each individual golem, they all do different things. Like I mentioned, the blue golem does a Tank Buster that needs to be mitigated and Asuna'd. The white golem will start to cast, is it Compaction? It's a thing that will do a lot of damage and kill us. Basically, once the white golem gets to about 30%, we need to burst it down so it does not finish the cast that it starts doing then.
So, not to interrupt too much, the compaction just full heals it. It's not actually that much range.
It's okay, that's fine.
You still burst it, but yeah.
Yeah.
You've never seen it, probably.
I haven't. I've never seen that ability go off.
Yep.
Which is a good thing.
Even on Fresh Prog, it's not that hard to burn down. Just save actions for it, or save burst rather.
Yeah, so the way it'll work is we will kill the blue golem first, then we will move to the white golem, which does that. So you'll just slowly chip it down until it's at about 30%. Then everyone will burst the white golem so it dies instead of full healing itself. The green golem doesn't do anything of importance to us if the hallway tanks are doing their thing. And we just kill it. And then the red golem is the funny one, which Harvin is taking because he wanted to. The red golem is it does very heavy hitting auto attacks, which will kill the tank, unless the tank. So what happens is the red golem will tether to the first person that hits it and just slowly follow it around, and if it hits them, they will die. So Harvin will be grabbing the red golem as soon as it turns red and just walking it around the room. He'll just be walking it, letting it follow behind him so he doesn't get autoed, and the Fizz ranged with him will be interrupting all of the Metamorphose casts.
So the thing to keep in mind is the Fizz range as well. Don't even attack or auto-attack the golem until it is tethered to Harvin. So let it change from green to red and then tether, because what often happens is the Fizz range starts attacking it when it's green, it turns to red, they auto-attack it without even knowing it, and it tethers to them, and now the Fizz range is kiting a golem of death. So they can work on the other golems. They just have to make sure to be up there by the time the interrupt goes off after it turns red.
The first one. Yeah.
Also, since you get interject back each time, you can kind of use that as a timer if you want to like wander and help with DPS. Just make sure to be back in position before interject to be off cooldown.
Yep.
I've certainly done that before.
Yeah, and as well, tanks will be the ones who will be interrupting the casts of Metamorphose on all of their other ones. The only one that has someone else doing it is the Red Golem, just because Harvin cannot be close to it or he'll die. And then, other than that, so we kill them in order of blue, white, green, then we hold on for a little bit because Slime Side has to do a bunch of things, and we don't want to turn on all of the buttons too early, because ad waves start spawning a lot faster at that point, and we can just chill out letting the red golem get walked around for a while.
Out of curiosity, is that ad spawning faster for both sides or just our side?
Our side.
Just ours,
okay.
yes.
That's still bad, but it would have been a lot worse if it screwed them up too.
Yeah.
Yes. So what will happen is we will kill we will kill blue, then white, then green, then we will hold on, kill the hallway ads, because during this whole time as well, there are hallway golems spawning at the north and south end. We will have Mushy taking the north hallway ads, and we will have Ragu taking the south hallway ads. And intermittently, as you're running between each room, go ahead, burn down those hallway ads, because we don't want to let them pile up, because they do add up and the tanks will be taking a bit of damage, and we just like to let them, we like to keep them safe. And then once we get a commit call from Slime's side, they will call for a commit in shout chat. We will then move to the red room, start to burn the red golem down until it's at about 20%. Then, once it hits 20%, we stop all damage. Harvin will pull the red golem towards the middle. He will invuln, let it get it stood on the button, and we will burn it down before Harvin's invuln wears off. So Harvin doesn't die, and we kill the golem on its final button. And then from there, ads just start spawning. We need to kill the ads. And then if Slime's side gets everything right, ads will stop spawning, and we will be able to go to Trinity Seeker.
So, just to clarify as well, I know all the tanks here have done this before. In fact, all the tanks here are vets, except Mushy, I believe. So Gale is the blue tank that's southwest. Carter is the white tank that goes to the southeast room. Oleander is the green tank that'll go northeast room, and Harvin is the red tank that'll go northwest room. Mush will be north hallway tank. Wagyu will be south hallway tank. Slime side are ready. Let's get ready checks. That is most everything covered. The one thing I want to point out with the percepting, so Mushy, you already checked southwest and southeast rooms. There is a trap in the middle of the hallway. So there's a pile of rock kind of in the middle off to the right. Just don't go kind of even with that. Stay to south of that. I'll run with you to show you and like jump up and down at spots. Also keep in mind when it comes to percepting in the rooms, so you know it's going to be both north rooms, you just step inside the doorway of the room, percept once. If you find it, great. If you don't find it, you can go all the way up to the button, percept again, and then you're good. So it's always a 2% game if you know it's in a room. So percept at a doorway. If you find it, great. If not, go up to the button, percept again, and then move on. So we are waiting on Taddy in F. Taddy!
I'm here. I'm asking what I'm doing.
Oh, you're just following the murder ball.
Oh yeah, if I didn't say anything specific about what you're doing, you are just in the ball of murder that runs around, kills the golems in order. So if you're not one of the healers or the tanks on the golem, or you're not one of the hallway tanks, you are literally just running around and killing shit.
Alright, so stance check, food check, vibe check. I am going to start our countdown. Not bad, Carter. Little windy, or a little wordy.
That's just how, yeah.
Yeah, definitely needs to be more concise to get everything across, as well as not stumbling over like, but that comes with practice, my dude. You're doing well. I'll run
you never went on one of my BA runs.
Yeah. Definitely a DRS that will get people killed way more than BA.
Yeah.
All good though.
Alrighty, tanks, go ahead, pick up your golems, and run them to your rooms.
Alright, all Pepper.
Healers, be ready to Asuna this. Tanks, mitigate.
We need an interrupter up to
blues.
red golem. Interrupter up to red golem. Any range fist.
Blue, green, interrupt your metamorphose. Red, white, let it go. And everyone, go ahead, kill the blue golem. Alrighty, now everyone come over to the white golem. Start chunking it down towards about 30%, and once it starts casting, then burst it.
Just to mention, Spooky, you're gonna let it change to red and then tether to Harvin, and then you interrupt to keep it red. So don't interrupt until it's already red and tethered.
Interrupt metamorphose. Alright, and burn this thing down. Alrighty, go ahead, run out into the hallway, kill some of those hallway golems before we move up to green. They're starting to stack up a little bit, and then we can move up to the green one.
Also, don't worry, Kodo. Being dead early means that when Slimes wipes, you're just getting a head start on wiping.
Alrighty, go
Slimes is gonna
ahead,
wipe.
kill the green golem. Avoid that trap in the center, by the way. Interrupt metamorphose. Slime's white. Hey.
Yep, we can practice red anyway. We're about to finish green, so
Yeah. Kill the green one, and now we're gonna move to the red golem. Alright, start burning down this red golem. Once it hits about 25%, I will call to stop DPS.
this is also why we're allowed a good amount of mistakes on golem side. Slimes is way harder.
Yes. Alright, slow down DPS a little bit. Harvin, pop your invuln, pull it to the center, and kill it.
Congratulations, that's the
Good
correct
job.
golem side. Don't kill ruin golems. Just let their demolishes go off. It's gonna be the fastest way to die. Alternatively, you can gather around a trap. Don't jump into it. Just sing Kumbaya, hold hands, and we all take it together. So this
There
is
is one in
why,
the red room.
as I pointed out earlier, this is why we don't want re-raisers at the start. Because if you have to die, it just makes you have to die slower. God, you know, we have a necromancer who had to do interrupts and ran into a trap. This is just Palace of the Dead. Nothing has changed. Not to give you too much shit. It is a very common occurrence, so no worries whatsoever. You're good to leave. Unfortunately, we do lose metal and any essences we pop. Same with any action, like any re-raiser item stuff. That's why we don't use piercers to start. Slime side is out, so once we are all out, I'm gonna put us straight back in. Okay, we waiting a little bit for Naxim to grab some cures for people. All good. Otherwise, that was a very, very good golem side. That would have been 100% successful. That would have gotten us through. The difference is that slime side is disproportionately more complicated. There are a lot more moving parts and a lot more that can go wrong. Additionally, if we have a tank die, for instance, so if a tank dies on white, well, blue golem's probably freed up, or south hallway can go take over white. Versus golems slime side where everything's pretty locked in. So there's a lot more room for things to a lot more wiggle room on golems. He's coming back.
Yeah, I just can't enter Zad nor anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, golems is the quote-unquote easier one. Once you have learned slimes and have slimes down it, they're both both about the same.
We get to sit back and drink margaritas on the beach. I say that, but my first drink of the night wasn't a margarita, and my drink later is not going to be a margarita. So what the fuck?
Is it
What
gonna be a
pie?
Pingus?
It's gonna be a what?
A pingus?
Pingus.
Florida
Uh,
pingus?
Oh,
No.
Florida Pingus.
No, it is not gonna be a Florida Pinkus. That's not a cocktail, silly.
It's Sakar.
Is it though? I made a similar joke in my raid chat earlier, my static voice call. My static knights are cursed, y'all.
I know.
Anyway, Naxib, there is a party trying to back up for you.
Yep,
I'm gonna hop over.
in just a sec.
I'm gonna hop over to Slimes and let them know what's up.
Do I want to order that chicken pizza?
I mean, is it what kind of sauce for the chicken pizza?
It's a barbecue chicken pizza.
Oh, what's up? Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
do
I'd
it.
say so. Also, Naxib, when you are actually good, you're good. Let me
I'll tell you what I won't order. That's that.
let me ready check and make sure.
That cursed shit that fucking Ollie told me to order.
I love how cursed the DRS ready check window is.
The worst part about it is that it splits the names across 2 different clicks. So like if I'm trying to see who doesn't ready up, I have to like click multiple places.
Yeah,
Or
just keep switching.
I hear there are add-ons that let you just like you see in your what's it called? Your actual text window who didn't ready up.
That was Yukari and Harvin.
Floppy block jobs.
Waiting on Harvard. So waiting on Yukari only, and then we'll be good to go.
Harbin ready.
Yeah.
Yukari's ready. We are good to go. I'm good. So these runs, especially my late nights, I try to be fairly laid back, despite like actions are important. Doing things like taking it seriously is important, but like being serious and like one-shotting stuff is not important because people are gonna fuck things up. Like the content's 2.5 years old. We shouldn't be in a hurry to clear. Like, if people are in that much of a hurry, like, why are we wiping? I thought this was a farm party. Where were you 2.5 years ago? Like, you had your chances. It's much more important to be like, you know, be a little laid back, have some fun with it. Mistakes are important to point out, not to call people out, but just like that's a teaching moment. Because I can guarantee if one person makes a mistake, somebody else would probably make it in their shoes, or make it if they get that role later. But anyway, that was like mostly flawless on our side. So we just have to do that again. Keep in mind, Mushy, the traps are in different locations, so you will need to check blue and white each time. They might be in different locations.
Should I be bringing Pure or just Templar or something?
I mean, Pure would let you arise.
Yeah,
If we wipe, or if we get through. Yeah, you know what I mean.
I mean, I also have like 39 of them, so
Yeah.
not a big deal. And this time I won't pop a re-raiser reflexively.
Yeah. So where are the traps on our side? Southeast and north?
Southeast and north, yes.
Okay, cool. Also, Mushy, I marked the pile of rock with a 4 marker. If you're curious about what big pile of rock I mean, there's just a bunch of rubble strewn about. As long as you're south of, like, the rubble graphics in the hallway, you're not gonna get hit by the trap. That's just always the marker I use. Does anybody have any questions before we, get ready checks going out?
Where do babies come from?
When a mommy and a daddy love each other very much, they do a special kind of hug, and then a stork comes along. I don't know.
A snort.
A stork.
There's a bird involved. That's what you need to know.
Yeah. Bird up. Anyway, let's get some ready checks going then. Keep in mind we have a lot of like shitposty vets on these runs. Yell chat is sometimes just the best way to get actual questions across. I am known for taking up every square inch of call space given to me and not giving anyone else a chance to butt in or talk. It's this whole Star Trek. He just kept talking in one incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic. That's just me.
Quite hypnotic.
Oh, my big himbo bestie our big hippo bestie, made a soundboard full of stuff. That we don't have soundboards enabled in Cafe, but I am staff, so I could use this soundboard. It is cursed. I am not using it.
Why ever not?
Is it the one where it plays the someone join and then, hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
No, there's a couple Moist Critical clips in there. There's yeah. There's a lot in there. It's great.
I have the Wilhelm Scream one. That one's always exciting in D&D.
I'm a big proponent of, like, in any serious content, not using soundboards, but then, you know, in between fights, you know, as long as there's nothing to go over,
That
no one
sounds like
cares.
a great meme run, though.
So, da-da-da-da-da. Oh yeah, that's not actual slime side ready. That's Harvin saying the good slimes. Yeah. And we have so many vets on this run. God.
Yeah, we were talking in another call earlier. We were like, damn, there's a lot of vets on a fresh prog for Phi.
Well, that's normally I'd have more fresh prog, but classic started fresh prog runs, and I don't have 48 plus fresh prog signups. But also that always gets me worried because the last thing I want to see is hard carries in fresh prog. And sometimes that happens by accident, just by having vets along. And it's always like, people get to see more stuff. I know that, like, from each person's perspective, they probably just want to clear more than anything. But, like, I've seen what happens when people just get carried dead on the floor the whole time. They don't come back. It's just like, yeah.
I would not be against, like, on such a run, like, okay, vets, you're not using your sweaty abilities. You're gonna use, like, basic, like, you're all popping defensive only.
Yeah, I haven't, like,
force the DPS down.
I haven't pulled that kind of thing before, but, like, that is, in my mind, vets are teaching aids. If I bring them on the run, they're here to help me teach. Not necessarily the full shitposty, like, that's what reclear stuff is for, right? Like, my priority is always just the new player experience for it, and, yeah, it's the same reason, like, I don't like any prog, is even if people clear on an any prog, that's not a good feeling. Like, I don't know, if they're a freshie.
I mean, I've always learned better when I'm in a group with everybody else, like 7 other people in an 8-man who know exactly what they're doing. I know exactly where I've gone wrong because everybody else is in position.
48% content's, like, solo enough stuff, though. Like, you pretty much only get yourself killed. And that's just like, oh great, I'm dead on the floor for every fight, the entirety of the fight, but we cleared anyway. That just ain't nice. Yeah, we are just waiting for, actual slime side, bad slime side to be ready. Sounded like they had, more stuff going wrong. I mean, obviously they wiped.
Yeah. It is also just slime side.
Yeah. I highly recommend, if you haven't done it before, to, like, even sign up on, like, a fresh or an early prog, like, saying you want to do slime side. Slimes are ready. Alright, tank stance check, food check, vibe check. I am starting our countdown. Stance check, food check, vibe check. Keep in mind that southeast room has a trap. Hallway has a trap, and there is a trap somewhere to the north. Mushy, do you want me to run with you again, or are you good to go?
Am I calling this again, or are you just gonna do it?
I mean, do you want to? Or do you want me to? There was stuff for me to take over last time.
Yeah, no, do it. Yeah.
Okay.
You're also in the death ball.
Yeah. And you know me, I go into, take over all available calling space mode.
Yes.
I smell blood in the water, I sense weakness, and then all of a sudden, they're my calls now. Anyway. Trap southeast, trap hallway, trap north. If you're going north, don't rush through, wait for the trap to be found. You have gone too far north, you could have gotten got. You gotta make sure to be south of that spot. It's all good, though. Blue Golem healers be ready to Asuna. Hallway ad spotting shortly. Metamorphosis is gonna be going off next. Interrupt if you need to keep it the same color, or let it go off if you need to let it change. Oh, that is not a red golem yet. Well, we're crossing the hallway to kill white.
Oh yeah, I'm just delaying it.
Oh, you do it because you can just do it for free anyway. Okay, interesting. But you still have to take the dog for a walk.
If you look up there, he is in fact still taking it for a walk.
Yeah,
he has a name.
Yeah, so, interrupts. We are gonna let green change for real this time. Yeah. Alright, go kill the green golem. So, the red golem, on day 1 of doing this content, we were asking, the person tanking it, Marvin, we were asking him to name the golem. So the golem is big, it's red, you take it on a walk like a dog. So we're like, Marvin, it's a big red golem you take on a walk like a dog. What's its name? By the way, work on hallway golems, work on hallways. And Marvin just paused and, went, Garfield. So the big red golem is named Garfield. Since day 1 of doing this content. Yeah, Marvin is a treasure. He doesn't run this stuff anymore, but, yep. Remember, there are ruined golem north, there are ruined golem south. Even when we're done killing these, we do not want to work on red. We don't want to drop its health. Interrupt red. Awesome, thank you. The reason being, we have to wait on slime side anyway. So, there's no real sense in dropping its health, because that just means longer of us dealing with the ad wave. The ad waves aren't too bad, but they do start to get out of hand if you can't kill them fast enough. Our DPS is fairly low due to not having Pierce. So yeah. If this is a good time to build gauge and resources, work on killing the hallway golems. I'm expecting to see a slime wipe pretty much any minute now, but we might see it commit, you never know.
As they're panicking, come in.
Yeah, right? Poor Azalea, man. He volunteered to be my, like, always perma slime caller, and sometimes he just gets the worst fucking prog. That's the showbiz, baby. Commit! Alright, work on killing red. Remember, once it gets down to about 20%, we will hold DPS till it's on the button. Like before, make sure to build gauge and resources. Interrupt. And hold DPS till it's on the button. Harvin may be a millennial that wants to die, but we don't want Harvin to die. Please kill the golem. I don't know if Harvin's actually a millennial. Oh!
Nice.
We were slower than them. Interesting. That almost never happens. What the fuck?
You love to see it.
That's a twofer. That's not bad. Granted, we're not like 48 fresh, but still. Please go through the teleporter, make sure you get the 2 chests, and then hop up a voice call, where we would handle Trinity Seeker in the West call.
Try not to have too many people raising at the same time, or else it could move into wasted trays.
Yep. Generally, you want to stand on top of the body that you're raising, and, you know, you'll be the only one doing it.
It's fun tanking red slimes.
This might be the only time, one of the only times, where we've killed red golem, like, in a normal amount of time. Like, commit call, we kill red golem, and then it insta-pops. So was that just a real late commit call? Or,
I wouldn't say really late. When I said I called commit, and then after I was verifying everyone was using, then I called it.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. Cause yeah, I was just like, that never happens. So, make sure to get your 2 chests, y'all. And then, a couple things to go over. If you cross the purple line into the arena, you are declaring yourself ready. That's how we do ready checks rather than actually doing them. So don't cross that purple line unless you are actually ready to go. Now is the time to pop a vaguely defensive essence. That can be your pure, if you just brought one because. It can be, you know, veteran, plate bearer, guardian, bloodsucker, anything of that ilk. Additionally, pop a re-raiser. If you have multiple re-raisers, you will probably die, so make sure to pop them every time you die. That's just best practices in DRS in general. If you die, pop a re-raiser for whatever reason. I'm going to go over Trinity Seeker calls or explanations and calls and such before we do our practice pull. So this fight has a raid wide and a tank buster. They both hurt, but as long as you have a defensive essence, you should be good. The first real mechanic is Fourfold Mercy. Fourfold Mercy is kind of the same as it is in normal mode, but much faster. The swords will glow in an order 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the AoEs go off in that direction. The issue here is that they're way faster, like I said. If you see orange under your feet, it is already too late to dodge. So the way we do this, calls will be true north oriented and be something like west west east east, west east east west, north north south south, something along those lines. North south south north, etc. You can stand like in the center. You can stand in the hitbox, but just on the west side of it, and dodge both northeast and southeast. Similarly, standing on the east side of the hitbox dodges both northwest and southwest. So we use that just to make it a back and forth dodge rather than having to rotate around. So if I call west west east east, I'm calling the safe side. You start to the west for 2 AoEs on the other side, and then you cross over. Remember that if you see orange under your feet, you are already too slow, so you do have to preempt it a bit. I'm going to link a GIF in DRS chat that shows you about the fastest the dodge would ever be. It's a back and forth kind of thing. You don't have to do that. It can just be a 1 and 2 kind of thing. But it helps to see exactly how fast the mechanic goes off if you are curious. The following mechanic is Seasons of Mercy. This is the same as normal mode, just happens a bit faster as well. There is a grid of ice you have to dodge. Afterwards, there's an orb that does a gaze attack. There's another grid of ice, and then a pink circle which expands. So you dodge ice, look away from the gaze, dodge ice again, and get away from the bloom. Try to dodge away from the pink bloom as you are dodging the gaze. Don't just stand in the middle of the pink and then wonder why you're getting hit by it and can't get out. Or if you're in the middle of it after the gaze goes off, sprint is your friend. You can get away, you just have to be ready for it. Normal raid wide and tank buster after that, and then we have the first kind of verdant path. There are 3 kinds of verdant paths. Unlike in normal mode, it's always the same order, so much easier than the random. The first one is the one that cleaves the sides. We have everybody get into the hitbox, because that dodges no matter the angle, otherwise front and back is safe. So first verdant path, you get into the hitbox. The next verdant path, when we see it, you will stack behind the boss, or add a marker if that's more convenient, I'll call it out. The last verdant path cleaves the cross-shaped AoE. You can get melee uptime at the intercard's max melee, but don't greet it if you're not all that confident on it. Usually it's just getting a max melee around the boss. Keep in mind that this does depend on bosses facing, so it's very important for the tank to face it north if possible. After that first verdant path, though, we have clone line AoEs, just don't stand in orange. And then we have the first Iron Splitter. Iron Splitter is the rings mechanic. You stand on sand or you stand on brick as called for. Next up, we have Earth Shakers. Earth Shakers will mark 3 people. This happens twice in the middle of Iron Splitter stuff. So you will need to check to see if you get one above your head. Please double and triple check. If those are pointed at people that can and will kill people as more go off. So if you get one, you need to stay on the safe ring and just rotate around the middle of the arena. So, for instance, we'll be following the boss, so we might be near 2, let's say. If you get it, don't stay near 2, don't run up to far northeast, rotate around the middle to point it away from the group that's at 2. That's the important part. It comes to the middle, rotate around the middle. Besides that, let's see, more clone line AoEs, more raid wide, the cross-shaped AoE. Ah yes, Ifrit dashes. I forgot to mention that earlier. Ifrit dashes happen just like Ifrit or Ravana would do. They start on one spot and rotate around. We just stand next to that first and move with it. This is followed by a Baleful Blade. Baleful Blade is the hide or get knocked into a barricade mechanic, but with no orange under your feet to see which one it is. So I will call hide or get knocked into a barricade. This happens by itself, followed by the Ifrit Dash one. So with the Ifrit Dash one, you just have to stop at the first barricade. So let's say we're starting at C and going clockwise. If we're starting at C, you would stop at the barricade at 4, going clockwise. If you're starting at 4 and still going clockwise, you do have to go over to 1. You can't just stay at that first one you're at. You do have to move some, but once you're moving, you stop at the first barricade. Never keep running, that will get you killed. Multiple points throughout this fight, there are chains that start to lock in above your head. If you see a chain icon above your head, try to group up as best as you can with everybody else. Don't start running away until that icon above your head is gone. That's when it's locked in. There is a special tank buster that comes up as well. For the first hit, we have 2 off tanks stacked with the main tank. Afterwards, everyone away from main tank. I was definitely reading these out of order because my notes were out of order for a second. But y'all saw nothing. There's everything from here, though, is just combinations of those mechanics. Like, there's Ifrit dashes with a 4-fold mercy in the middle. There's rings with a 4-fold mercy where you have to cross back and forth on different rings. There's rings with the seasons. There's a Baleful Blade into a 4-fold mercy. You might have to do 4-fold mercy on a clone at one of the 4 cardinals rather than center the arena. y'all will get it. We do a practice poll so y'all can die to this with impunity. That's the best way to learn. So you can cross into the arena once you're ready to go. If you have any questions, please let me know. Can I get a main tank volunteer to the front? Oh, my shadow callers are running off already. Harvin want a main tank? Harvin is our main tank. Can I get 2 off tanks? We got Minoped and we got Opalt. Apostrophe gang, what's up? What's up, my apostrophe homies? Yeah, there are literally dozens of us. Anyway,
lore appropriate. I'll have you know.
Yeah. Step across the line into the arena once you're ready to go. We are waiting on Allison, it looks like, and Carter, who I believe they're just in Shadow Call stuff. So, or Allison's not, but alright, we are ready to go. Tank stance check. Only Harvin should have stance on. Food check. The extra vitality is helpful. Actions check. Only be using actions if you really want to practice. Don't waste charges otherwise. I am starting our countdown. Yeah, keep in mind that Lost Arise only works if you are in a pier. If you brought Arises but did not slot a pier, don't worry about wasting your Arises on people. If you do have Arises and a pier equipped, it is very helpful to pick people up so they can get more practice. Remember, dying is the best form of practice. This fight starts with a raid wide. You can pre-shield your parties. Following this raid wide will be the first real mechanic, being a Fourfold Mercy. Tank stance check. Alright. Remember, Fourfold Mercy is the first mechanic. Somebody has stance on and should not. Alright. We're gonna be starting either south or west to start. It's a 2 movement. What do we get? We're starting west, east, east, west. Start to the west, start to the west. West, east, east, west. East twice. And west again. Orb is on 2. Dodge ice, look away from 2. Look away, look away. Look away, look away. Dodge ice again and get away from the bloom. Get away from the bloom. Raid wide is gonna be next. This is followed by a basic bitch tank buster. Tank is pointing back towards the north. And yeah, welcome to Fourfold Mercy and Savage. It's a bitch. And then you get used to doing the Savage version, so you do DR normal and die to it because you're moving too fast. It's great. After this is going to be the Baleful Blade that cleaves the sides. Please get inside the hitbox. Inside the hitbox. Front or back is also safe, but keep in mind inside safe no matter the angle. Onslaught is next. Off tanks stack with main, everyone else away. Off tanks with main, sharing is caring here on the late nights. Everyone away from main tank. Sharing is no longer caring here on the late nights. Next up, we're going to be chains. Group up as best you can. Don't break chains until you see the icon above your head disappear. Don't break until the icon above your head is gone. Wait to break. We are going to break chains and get knocked into a barricade. Break chains and get knocked into a barricade. Ifrit dashes are next. Remember, we start at the first and rotate around, or start next to the first. We are starting at 4. We are starting at 4. We are going to get knocked into the barricade at 1. These are wider than you think. Don't greed on it. Rotate around, get knocked into the barricade at 1. Knocked into the barricade at 1. Don't keep running. Don't keep running. Don't keep running. Don't keep running. There we go. Raid wide's going to be next. That don't keep running may have seemed ridiculous. You have no idea how many people go rotate and then die to the north. It's hilarious. Stack behind the boss. We're stacking towards C. Stacking towards C. We're going to C in a poorly constructed submarine. Alright, note that this does include main tank because they can get sniped by themselves. You can stay stacked for clone line AoEs. That just keeps them nicely grouped together. I'm not going to call this out. Y'all should know at this point not to stand in orange. If not, go back to Hall of the Novice. Don't stand in orange. But you do want to stand on brick. Stand on brick. That's the bricky one.
Those were nice baits.
Alright. Boss is jumping middle next. The next time the boss jumps, be ready to follow the boss. Once he jumps, we're gonna go on sand near the boss and be watching for Earthshakers. Follow the boss, be on sand near the boss. Watch for Earthshakers. If you get Earthshakers, rotate around the center. Earthshakers rotate, Earthshakers rotate, Earthshakers rotate. That is an Earthshaker, not... There we go. Good job. Jump again, rotate, be on brick, Earthshakers away. Brick, Earthshakers away. Nicely done. More clone line AoEs, followed by a raid wide. After this is going to be verdant path, cleaving across. You can get to intercards around the boss, main tank wait for the next cast bar. Intercards around the boss, main tank wait. And intercards around the boss, do not greed. You can greed for uptime if you're confident, if not, enjoy getting hit. Alright, next up we're going to have Ifrit dashes, followed by a fourfold Mercy in the center. We just rotate around with the dashes, and then do fourfold after. Like I said before, the dashes are wider than you think. Don't greed for uptime, it's not worth it. Start at B, start at Bravo, start at Bravo. Fourfold is going to be south or west. It's going to be south, south, north, north. Rotate around, and then south, south, north, north, one movement pattern. South, south, north, north. South safe. South, south, north, north. And north twice. North twice. Orb is on 2. Dodge ice, look away from 2. Look away, look away. Dodge ice again, and get away from the bloom. Get away from the bloom. Gonna be chains to break, followed by a raid wide. Chains to break, followed by a raid wide. Group up best you can for chains. Break chains, and then a raid wide coming up. After this raid wide is a basic bitch tank buster. Be away from north. Also, I belatedly realized something about this frog cycle, which I will point out after this fight is done. Don't worry about it yet. It's like, yes, I should have harped on that a little more. But no worries, that's why we do a practice pull. Next up is the Iron Splitter fourfold Mercy combo. We're gonna start on the first safe rings, do fourfold like normal, and end on the next safe rings. Those rings are always opposite. So it's gonna be either east or south to start, either east or south. South, south, north, north. South, south, north, north. And you're going to start on brick. The hitbox is safe. South, south, north, north, starting on brick. North twice, end on sand. North twice, end on sand. That's the sandy one. Gonna have one more at random. Be on brick. Be on brick. That's the bricky one. And seasons. Orb is on 4. Dodge ice, look away from 4. Look away, look away. There are clone line AoEs. Don't get baited, you have time to dodge. Don't get baited, you have time to dodge. Alright. Raid Wide's gonna come next. Raid Wide going up. This is gonna be followed by Verdant Path. We're gonna get inside the hitbox for this Verdant Path. It is a repeat of the first. I have to point out that part of the reason I do a practice pull is so people can die like this and not be like, oh god, all of my re-raises are gone for the run. Nah, homie, just sit back, have a nice laugh. Enjoy how ridiculous this is compared to normal mode. The next mechanic is going to be Iron Splitter Rings. Or no, this is going to be a Baleful Blade with fourfold Mercy with a clone. The clone's going to be at one of the 4 cardinals. We'll do Blade near the clone. There's going to be hiding. We're going to hide either behind 2 or 3. We are hiding behind 2, hiding behind 2, and then west, west, east, east on the clone. Hide behind 2, then west, west, east, east on the clone. That is true north. West, west, east, east on the clone. East twice. East twice. There's gonna be chains followed by a raid wide afterwards. Break chains followed by raid wide. Now we're gonna have the Iron Splitter Rings followed by Baleful Blade. If you have to hide behind, don't greed for uptime. Just resolve it cleanly. It's not possible to sprint from the middle and actually make it there. See if we get uptime though. We are going to have to hide behind, so be ready to hide. It is Iron Splitter first. We stand on sand, then hide. Sand, then hide. Sand first. then hide. Awesome. We got one more mechanic to go. There's going to be Chains to break, followed by Fourfold Mercy on a clone at one of the 4 cardinals. Wait in the middle to break Chains. Don't go rushing to the clone right away. You have plenty of time. Wait to break Chains till after we've got it sorted. Clone is to the north. Fourfold's going to be either north or west. It's north, north, south, south on the clone. Wait to break Chains. Break Chains, then north, north, south, south on the clone. North, north, south, south on the clone. It's going to be followed by a knockback. South twice. Get knocked into the barricade at 2. Knocked into 2. Or 1. Doesn't actually matter. Just get knocked into a barricade. Alright, one more Baleful Onslaught. That's the special tank buster, so be away from A. Be away from A. Off tank stack with Mage. Sharing is caring here on the late nights. I have an off tank too. Alright. Welcome to the Enrage. So, something I forgot to point out. Those of you who prog with Classic, a lot of people will call out left, like, we'll call boss relative. So left, right, front, back. A lot of us call true north. You do have to learn which Fourfold Mercy call it's going to be. I forgot to mention ahead of time because I'm used to being the only actual frogging callers here. But yes, some of you may have gotten baited if you had only run with Classic up till now, and you were thinking I was going to do front and back, left, right. I do true north to the arena for my Fourfold calls. It's just a matter of preference, really. They're wrong, but it's a matter of preference. Cough, cough.
True and real.
Yeah, so, good shit, y'all. That is, faster than I expected, actually.
That was a great second run.
Yeah. So we are going to, granted, a lot of people here have, are either vets or have, like, been in with Classic once before, but still, that's still nice. We're taking a 10-minute break here. We're gonna come back at 10 past. That is where, I'm gonna go over our normal holsters and full run expectations. So, you got a bit of a break, time to shake out the nerves. Like I said, don't worry about deaths. The whole reason we do a practice pull is to let those happen. There's no better way to learn than to die and laugh about it. So, that's what we're here to do. Take a 10-minute break or so. We'll come back and talk about stuff. I got a cocktail to make. So, I'll be back shortly.
I'm shaking because I got through that without a single stack of ruin. That's my first time.
No
Let's
shit.
go.
What's up? That was Ratio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said had you practiced or had you looked up anything on that fight yet?
I watched both of the guides that you posted, so.
Nice. That's
I
not to
watched your full
diminish.
stream, so.
It's not to diminish it, because it's still like.
It's fast.
There's a lot of vets who will say that Seeker is the hardest fight. Because the other fights, like, there's an understanding, like, gap that once you bridge that understanding gap, like, it's just execution. Seeker never stops being that fast. It never gets any slower. I think it's also the most fun fight to parse, partly because there's no, dual buff to, like, fuck it up.
Did you also find Barbaricia one of the most fun extremes?
Yes, Barbaricia, I think Barb is the single best fundamentals test in the entire game, especially for healers. I think, yeah, Black Mage as well. I think the, always be casting thing is pushed to an extreme in Barb, whether or not you can do it properly or not. I think for healers, being able to handle always be casting through most mechanics without overhealing, and then to be able to handle the actual burst healing, like, properly, I think it's incredibly, I don't want to say incredibly skill testing, because, like, it's still an extreme trial, like, those only get so hard, but I think it's, like, the best, like, single example of if you master this, you're gonna be set for, like, that's fundamentals. That's fundies, baby. We love the fundies.
Oh, yeah, and this fight felt a lot like Barbaricia.
Yeah, you're right, it's very Barb. I hadn't pieced that together, that's 100% correct. I love Seeker.
It's also very Uwu Garuda.
Uwu?
Yes.
Oh, well.
Wait till you get to the boss later, who's a lot like the A rank in Elpis.
Dahu? Anyway, I need to make a cocktail rather than Gabbin, so I can
Who
come
does
back and
not
actually do my
have
job.
Octopus
I'll
Slam,
be
and that
back.
makes me very sad.
I wish Dahu had Octopus Slammer Jammer.
The Octopus Slam is so fun, and you never see it anymore because like people have too much eye levels.
Just too many people doing the hunt trains for those relics right now.
Yeah,
Let him
yeah.
speak.
You just like at best you see the cast start, but like you never actually do the mechanic. And like once you know how to resolve it, it's just like, oh, there's 2 safe quadrants and they're the same. You just move back and forth between them and it's fine.
Shed to personal question. What's your accent?
What's my what?
Accent.
That's French Canadian.
Oh, bonjour. Okay, fine, awesome.
Salut.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so we got a French Canadian and a French here in the raid. That's a good role, honestly.
Yeah, that's a good balance.
I am just Canadian.
That's also very fine.
French is my favorite role for this raid.
Do we
It
have an
is.
Aus? Do we have
It's
an
a great
Aus?
role, but it is a terrible language. It makes
Hello.
no sense.
It's always good when Fi's like, okay, we join. Wait, who's the French role? Oh, we can't go, guys.
I was enjoying all of the accents very much.
Yeah, I figured it was like something similar to mine. Like I'm trying not to sound French when I speak in English because it's fucking awful.
No, it's terrible. It's terrible, and like half the time when I say, "Oh, I'm French Canadian," people like try to make a joking French, like Friends accent, and I'm like, "No, this is Quebecois French. Sounds nothing like Friends French." Like this is Quebec is to France as Australia is to the rest of the English-speaking world.
Basically, Quebec and France like long-distance cousins.
Yes.
Next time you have definitely heard me talk before.
I have, but I am very forgetful until the inciting incident where I associate someone to an actual memory.
Which means that you were around when I naked pulled Osma. Tragic.
Not naked pulled, no.
Well, I can
My
always
favorite is
do it
people
again.
going. My favorite is people in real life. I remember when we met, it was this. I'm like, that was you? I remember the incident, but I don't remember you being there.
Well. Speaking of the incident, time to buy some fragments.
Wait, what's the incident? Yes.
I also don't necessarily associate Discord names and character names in the game.
I mean, I make it easy on people and let them both call me Twimble and keep my name on that. So, I mean, except for when we're all Fyrail. Sometimes we're all Fyrail.
That reset my understanding. I don't know who anyone is anymore.
Always.
Thanks to Cafe, I got the nickname Dimadome, which don't know what it means, but it's funny. I like it.
Okay.
Dimmadome? Oh, that's a
Dimmadome.
reference
The
to
Dimsdale
the
Dimmadome.
Yeah.
This is home of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
The Dimmadome?
Is that a thing?
God, that video has truly altered my speech irreversibly.
So, what's your first impression of the fight, Seeker in Savage? Stressful, exciting. Did you like it?
Who we asking?
Oh, and anyone basically.
So Fi was commenting about how, and then we get used to DRS, he'll go back to DRN and he'll be too slow and he'll screw up. That actually happened to me. The last time I did DR was DRN, so I come in here and I'm like, slow motion, I'm like, oh, whoops, I'm dead. So the exact
Honestly, the
reverse of what he
poor
said.
part is not actually what I mess up on at all. Oh boy.
I think I said in party chat, oops, I died to that mechanic because I am a clown.
Well. No, there's just a lot happening during that shit, huh? Like, I read the guides, and yet...
No amount of reading the guides will prepare you for what's actually happening once you're in the instance. You
Yeah,
just
like
have to
I'm sure
dive
it'll
with
be
a bunch
like I
of
know
science.
that that's the way I felt about Ozma at one point too, and nowadays I'm supposedly an Ozma caller. So I'm sure I'll get there. But right now it is very, oh my god. Can you stop doing something for a sec? I need to res.
If I can give a tip for the first timers is if you bounce or self-erase, don't jump into the fight directly. Make sure to pop a new razor before fighting, because I've seen many people forget one and then they just die next to the next mechanic basically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
That-
you
I
milk
did
your
get that one.
transcendence for all it is worth, because it is the
Yeah.
only time you are truly safe in TRS.
Yeah, no, I've done Savage Raiding long enough to know that I simply will not be starting to cast until I know for a fact that I'm not going to be dying in the next few seconds.
Now I've absolutely been like, I'm alive, I better, oh, I'm dead because I got rid of my invulnerability because I am a fool. Oops.
Yeah. It do sure be like that. Yeah. Especially since I came on Scholar like a genius, so of course, every time I res, the first instinct is, oh, I need to resummon my fairy. No, you don't. No, you don't. Yes, I came on a Scholar. What do you want to do? Why do you want to talk about it? That's private?
Oh no.
5 leaves and we're already being weird. Oh hey, I got duelists.
Alright, friends, I am back. Cocktail is made. We are getting back to it. This is my first time trying this one. I made a sidecar.
Don't worry, you'll get through DRS 5. We believe in you.
Yeah, right. I'm Fresh Prog. But yeah,
cool.
I actually have some cognac, so I've made it proper instead of just using like bourbon or something. Ooh. Oh, that's strong. Oh, okay. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
I see why there's a sugared rim to that. Okay, yeah, okay, I get it. I wasn't sure it'd be about the sugared rim because I like bone dry cocktails, but that fucking that's powerful.
Wait, what'd you make?
Sidecar.
Oh, okay, nice.
So what? Ounce and a half of cognac, 3/4 ounce Cointreau, 3/4 ounce lemon juice.
I glanced to your stream the moment you made the face.
Yeah, I'm just like, ooh. Well, I mean, yeah, that's lovely, actually. How dare I waste cognac on a cocktail? Cocktails are the point of, like... Anyway, we could get into this argument after I get to the actual...
The extra spicy grape
stuff.
juice. Anyway.
Welcome back, everybody, hopefully. So, the things to keep in mind for going back in for the full run. There are some actions that are very much required. So, we do use that lost action loadout. Some are just, like, optimal DPS stuff. That's not technically required, but, like, please, this is about good fundamentals, y'all. Please learn good fundamentals. The main things to keep in mind with these actions. So tanks need Aether Shield in their holster. When I say holster, this is the stuff you actually start the run with. So when we go in at the box, you do want to use anything in the pre-run section of this lost action loadout. That is pre-raid, that is your Pure Essence and a Re-Razor. We are using Pures and Re-Razors as soon as we're at that box. And then, use your actions to make sure you have fresh charges on stuff, and then make sure your during raid holster is all the stuff you're taking with you. Like I said, tanks all need a copy of Aether Shield. Not all tanks need Perception. We are going to edit this document at some point, or at least make our own version of it. But the tanks with Perception will need 1 or 2 as backup. Healers! Once again, healers have a lot of stuff to do. Healers have Arise in their bag. Healers also need either Steel Sting or Spellforge. To where we have 1 of each per party. This is very important. We need a Steel Sting and a Spellforge per party. So healers, please double check with your co-healer to see who is taking what. If you're really not sure, both of you can take, or one of you can take both actions so you can flip-flop. it's less room for rises and re-raisers, but that's technically the safest option. Just double check. Talk to your people. Talk to your friends, Prog. It's not that bad. Healers also need either 2 copies of Reflect in their bag, or like 10 to 14 light curtains in their bag. 10 to 12, 10 to 14, something like that. Up to you. You don't need both, but healers will need some Reflect, stuff like that. We aren't doing the no one drops till everyone has buffs. If someone goes on the full run and just forgot to use their stuff, that's their problem. They just get to enjoy the fights dead on the floor and not actually get good practice. It is a teaching moment, albeit a spicy one. Nope, you don't have to use up all your stuff. You can re-up when you still have charges left to burn through. It's really just at your leisure. Melee. We have 2 melees assigned with Rend Armor. Those 2 melees, let me double check who I assigned that to. That is Soren in Party A, and that is probably in Party C. Rend Armor is a 30-second debuff on the boss that greatly ups everybody else's damage. Think of it as a trick attack for 48 people. So your job is, as a render, one of you is Rend Armor 1, one is Rend Armor 2. It is up to you who does what order. Rend 1 just uses it basically as soon as the boss is pulled. Rend 2 uses theirs when that first Rend Armor falls off, and then you just alternate basically whenever it's off cooldown. That keeps that buff always up on the boss. It's nice. Cure 4 is the main action for a support caster, which is 1 caster per party. Cure 4, as long as you have a Pure equipped, gives a party-wide bravery that is stronger than normal bravery, so use it at least once a minute. It's also just great to use that to heal, especially on re-clears. The real healer is the Cure 4 caster. So just keep it up whenever there's raid wides and stuff. It'll keep that buff up on people. Everyone will be happy. Dervish is the action for ranged fizz. That's their support action. It is not a 100% uptime thing. Generally, you use it on cooldown, but if you're ever coming to like a downtime phase, like the Ifrit dashes, let's say, just wait till the whole party's back. Same with any other kind of burst. Anyone taking font and banner or anything with like a 2-minute cooldown and a 90-second cooldown, wait until both are up. The buffs are multiplicative. It is much more important to have them both up. That's all just damage optimization stuff. The main takeaways here: use a Pure and a Re-Raiser at the box. Make sure you have the proper actions for actually doing the fights. Tanks have an Aether Shield in your bag. Healers have either Steel Sting or Spellforge, the opposite of your co-healer, double check with them, and have either 2 Reflects or 10 to 12 Light Curtains in your bag. That'll at least get us through all of the required action stuff. Tanks can also have Dispel in their bag if they have it. We only need a couple with it, so it's not crazy important. That gets us to the required stuff. Everything from there is just whether we do the mechanics and have the damage. But, the worst feeling is getting to a boss and just not having the actions to be able to get through it. That's where it's like, well, we could have progged, but we can't, so,
Shout outs to that first Queen run I saw.
Yeah, it's all learning experiences, and, like, that's the important part. Sometimes I have to fuck things up to learn from it. If I call someone out for fucking something up, it's not saying this person is bad, that's saying, oh look, I would have done that too. I want everybody to be able to see what happened so they can learn from it without making the mistake themselves.
That's one of the really cool things with DRs. There are a lot of potential learning experiences.
Mm-hmm. Even as a caller, I can tell you so many caller mistakes I've made. Anyway, Soren's ready, Azalea's ready. We're waiting for Elusmus, I believe.
Nothing like saying left instead of right and watching 40 people die.
One of the early runs I did, I miscalled, what was it? I miscalled swords on TA, and everybody died because of it, basically. And I instantly went, oh, shit, my bad. Let's get back up and keep going. We can at least get good practice. And afterwards, one of my friends was like, I don't know how you did that and didn't just tell everyone to run into the wall, like, out of shame. And it's like, it's still good practice. You have to shake that off. Like, as a caller, that's, water off a duck's back. You gotta keep going. If a caller sits and goes, oh my god, I'm so sorry, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I'm so bad, then more people die to the next mechanic, and that's not good practice. Salvage what you can and keep going.
If you're apologizing, you're not calling the mechanic that's happening.
Don't let it snowball.
Shoutouts to anyone who's watched my caller guide, cough cough.
Hey.
Anyway, we are not going to be separating voice calls. We're all staying in the same voice call. Anastasia, as a tank, font is better. Additionally, as a tank, weight is a consideration. So like, font is 25 weight, banner is what, 12? So if you have to take something to like to slot in later, it might as well be the less weight thing. Yeah. So remember, pop a pure, pop a re-raiser. Double check with your co-healer, so one of you has Steel Sting and one of you has Spellforge. Make sure to use your actions and have full charges. Keep in mind, we're not going to use actions on barracks, on Slime's Golems, because as you saw, we got through fine without them. Having purest things are going to melt, so we're not worried about it. But the bosses and most mini-bosses, we will use action charges, so use them if you can. Everybody should be using that Lost Action loadout guide. Words are hard, you know what I mean. The cocktail hasn't even hit yet, I'm just really fucking tired. Alright. 21 ether kits, you think that's enough? I don't know, let's find out.
No, you need more.
Yeah, indeed. We are doing all of the same spots, all of the same strats as we did for Slime's Golems previously. You'll just nicely see things melt instead. Once again, Mushy is our Preceptor on Golem side. We do have Kitty who can help Precept now. Now that Mushy's learned it, we can just do it faster if needed. Whenever you have the Duelist, they're usually going to be a Precept. Trap is southwest. Thank you, Mushy. Funnily enough, we have somebody in the community who used to run named Mushi. So you'll hear people say thanks Mushi after the duel a lot, or after Queensguard. No, it's definitely, I've had to say mushy instead of mushy, like on purpose.
Yep.
Anyway, we can start getting ready checks going out. Also, fun thing, if you are a blue golem tank and know it, you can always just pop a med kit from the box. That's that way your healer doesn't actually need to Asuna. Wow, all these people saying food check, stance check, vibe check, as if that's one of my many catchphrases.
You don't have catchphrases.
I have so many fucking catchphrases, my dude. You can make a soundboard for 5 catchphrases.
You really could.
At this point, I think every call in DRS is a fine catchphrase.
Yep. Which, like, that's another good caller, like, not strategy, practice. If everybody, like, if a mechanic comes up and the call pops into their head, that means as soon as you start to say that call, the mechanic pops into their head, right? Like, if you call something different every time, that just, people never get that, like, oral memory. They never hear what you're saying instantly, know, oh, right, I'm moving like this, I'm doing this. And so it's just always good to do that kind of thing. Oral, A-U-R-A-L. Yeah, correct. I'll show you oral memory. Wait, no, fuck, go back, hold up, wait, no, stop. Wait, no, wait.
Me, that time I said I'm taking Phi's energy and becoming. Wait, no, don't, I don't want to do that.
Anyway, Golem side is ready. Look, I got through teaching barracks. I say teaching, Carter did the work. Now I'm having another cocktail, so like, I don't know what you expected.
We're just waiting on A.
Here, thank you.
Alright, slimes are ready.
Slimes are ready, golems are ready. Tank stance check. Remember, it falls off each time. Food check, vibe check. We are starting our countdown. Yeah, this is no longer max level content, so your stance falls off each time you re-instance. Also, if you need to percept or anything that requires, like, moving fast, you can always pop sprint a few seconds before the door is opened. That gives you the 20-second sprint instead of the 10-second in combat one. Hey, strats. That's what I'm here for, to teach people niche strats they don't need. I'm Fresh Prog, by the way.
Same.
Alright.
Northwest tank, get ready. Percept. Perfect. Northwest tank, pick up your 3 slimes. Watch out, there is a trap up north, so just run in, reds are down. Just run in anyways. Alright, northeast, get ready.
Blue golem healers, be ready to Asuna.
Southeast, get ready. Keep an eye on those rooms.
Blue golem healers Asuna, Metamorphosis coming up.
Southeast, pick up your slimes, reds are down, pick them up, pull them out. Southwest, get ready.
Metamorphose if needed.
Southwest, pick up your slimes. Reds are down, pick them up, pull them out. Healer free for all. Healers, you can start beating your tanks. Get him the 4 stacks, the 5th one held off to the side. Reds are down, get them out.
Golems work on hallways, we are 3 of 4.
Once you're at 4 stacks with the 5th one held off to the side, make sure to put it in yell chat. Healers, keep your tanks alive. Southwest is 4 and holding. Keep an eye on those rooms for the reds. At this point, we're hitting slime cap, so they might be dropped much less.
Build gauge and resource when you can, both sides.
Southwest, northeast, northwest, southeast. That is all reporting ready. Let's go ahead. Everyone commit. Everybody commit. Pull through the center mass of the big slime. Once they are both fusing, pick up any loose mobs, and we're going to head out the north door.
Remember golems, once it gets to about 20, that's when we hold DPS.
Watch the trap. Watch the trap. Heals, feel free to use rescue very liberally.
Golems hold DPS, so it's on the button. Harvard in shout chat.
Harvard in shout chat.
And make sure to stun or sleep demolish cast golem side. Stun or sleep demolish. We didn't see this last time. Don't spam holy on him. You do need to stun with discretion. There are ones to the south as well. Never mind. We're good to go. Healers, please check in your parties for anybody down. If anybody's down, you will need to arise them up. You or other healers on your side. So, when we get up to Seeker, remember once you cross the purple line into the arena, you are declaring yourself ready. Keep in mind, you do not need the protect buff on yourself anymore, unless you are one of the tanks. So you can click off protect. It's buff capping is very much a thing in here, so the fewer buffs you have, the more damage you can get usually. Not that big a deal on Fresh Prog, but it's a good practice to get into. So just to remark our tanks, we got Harvin Harver. We got Opalt was number 3, we got Minopt was number 2. Alright. My bestie's going to sleep, he told me to drink water first, so cheers. So
water in quotes.
Well, actual water. Hydrate's important. To clarify, remember, we do use true north orientation for fourfold. If I say west, I mean west in the arena. It does not matter which way the boss is facing. It does not matter if that's the north, south, east, or west clone doing it. It is the west of that, of whatever's doing it, true north orientation. Orient yourself to that A marker that's the north if needed. We do have that 3rd Seasons of Mercy, has clone line AoEs at the end. They're kind of a debate. You have time to dodge the clone line AoEs. Just dodge the ice first and then worry about it. Let's see. Chains were good. Dashers were good. Dashes, I saw multiple people getting clipped by them, but that's just something you learn. They're much wider than you think. Nobody kept running past the barricade, so I wasn't too worried about that. Iron Splitter was good. The Earth Shakers, there was one that like tried to run through the boss to the other side at first, but then got to rotate at like the last second. Yeah, please keep an eye on that. You do have to rotate around the center. As you saw, we're all grouped up there, so if you just run through to the other side of the boss, you're still cleaving the whole group. There are 2 sets of Earth Shakers. If you ever take more than one, you die. That is between both sets. So if you randomly drop yours on the party and then somebody gets one, like, who got hit at first, they just die. If 2 get dropped on the group, everybody just dies. So please double check those. Mimic's fine if you're not fucking doing degenerate shit with it. I'm just saying. Anyway, if you have any questions, please let us know. Step across the purple line in the arena once you are ready to go. Remember, for action usage, I don't know which rend wants to be rend 1, which wants to be rend 2. It looks like Probably's gonna first rend, so Soren will just get it whenever that falls off. Dervish, you basically use on cooldown. Cure 4, just keep that buff up. Earthshakers is you get a tether attached to you, and a little like glowing arrowy kind of thing above your head. It's kind of yellowish green. plus that tether. It's hard to see being grouped up with everybody. You don't have to get grouped up next to the boss until you've confirmed whether you have it or not. So you can kind of just, you know, saunter on over, see if it's above your head or not, and then pile in with the rest of the group. Good question, though. Also,
remember, any chain mechanic, not just this one, the distance you need to go is based on the distance when it spawns in, so be hugging.
That's why, yep, until that chain icon has disappeared above your head, group up. Group up best you can. I don't know why I keep taking a drink before I'm talking. Anyway, we are all in the arena. Stance check. Only Harvard should have stance on. Food check. Vibe check. Actions check. We are starting our countdown. Keep in mind that usually you want to use both your actions at once if they have different cooldowns, they're multiplicative, save it for your burst phase, etc. Whenever we disengage or have downtime, try to save your burst for when everybody's back. It doesn't matter if you can dervish and get uptime yourself. If your melee's missing out on it, that's damage lost. This fight starts with a raid wide. You can pre-shield your parties. Think big damage thoughts. Alright. Like I said, raid wide is going to be that first mechanic. Followed by Fourfold Mercy. Like I said before, it is faster than you think. If you're waiting for the call to cross over, you will probably be too slow. You have to preempt it a bit. I'm just here to remind you what's going on. Not the Marvin Gaye album, classic though it is. We're going to be starting north or east. East, east, west, west. East, east, west, west. One movement, followed by seasons. And west twice, west twice. Orb is on 4. Dodge ice, look away from 4. Look away, look away. Dodge ice again, and get away from the bloom. Get away from the bloom. We are going to be skipping mechanics. Skipping mechanics. We're going to be grouping up inside the boss's hitbox next. We might see a raid wide. Raid wide followed by getting in the hitbox. Inside the hitbox. Front back is always safe, but inside safe no matter the angle. Afterwards, main and off tank pull away to the north, no one else with. Sharing is caring here on the late nights, but only for them. Everyone away from main tank. Sharing is no longer caring on the late nights for anybody. It's gonna be followed by our Ifrit dashes and another Baleful Blade. Or this is followed by chains first and then Baleful Blade. I should probably not skip mechanics, huh? So chains first, group up best you can. This is going to be with hiding behind a barricade. Wait to break. Wait to break. Break chains, then hide behind a barricade. Break chains, then hide. Ifrit dashes are next, followed by, as I said, Baleful Blade. Save burst for when everyone's back together. Start at 2. Start at 2. We're gonna get knocked into the barricade at 3. Wait to rotate. Rotate around, get knocked into the barricade at 3. Knocked into 3, don't keep running. Knocked into 3, don't keep running. And back at it. We're gonna be stacking on C after this raid wide. Stacking on C. Stacking on C. I used to have other stuff written out for that, but I've forgotten. Anyway, clone line AoEs are next. You can stay grouped together to bait them nicely. As I said before, if you have trouble not standing on orange, you're either colorblind or should go back to Hall of the Novice. Stand on sand. Stand on sand. That's the sandy one. Boss is gonna jump middle next. The next time the boss jumps, we're gonna follow the boss and be on brick near the boss. This is when Earthshakers start to happen. So be ready to follow. Be on brick near the boss, watching for Earthshakers. If you get an Earthshaker, rotate around the center. Earthshakers rotate. Oh look, I have an Earthshaker. Earthshakers rotate. Awesome. Follow the boss again. We're going on. Stand near the boss, Earthshakers away. Stand near the boss, Earthshakers away from the group. Clone line AoEs. Awesome. There's a raid wide next. following this raid wide will be our verdant path that cleaves a cross. Point the boss towards the cardinal fast as you can. Looks like it's gonna be facing north in time, maybe. Nope, it is not. Check the facing of the boss. Check the facing. It is crooked. Intercards around the boss, boss relative. Intercards around the boss, boss relative. Spicy. Ifrit dashes followed by fourfold mercy. Did I mention this is the hardest fight in here to take? Have fun. We do dashes first, followed by fourfold. Starting at B, starting at Bravo. Fourfold is going to be either south or east to start. It's going to be east, east, west, west. Rotate around with, and then east, east, west, west. East, east, west, west. Remember, true north. East, east, west, west. And west twice. West twice, followed by seasons. Orb is on 3. Dodge ice, look away from 3. Look away, look away. Dodge ice again, and get away from the bloom. Get away from the bloom. Troop up best you can. There are chains to break, followed by a raid wide. Break chains, raid wide coming next. Main tank dead, can somebody else pick up? Yeah. Pick up, make sure to reorient center and point north as soon as you can. There is a tank buster coming up, so just point north whenever you can here. Harvard is back alive, thank you. Good adjust, y'all. Alright, next is the Iron Splitter fourfold Mercy combo. We're gonna start on the first safe rings, do fourfold like normal, and end on the next safe rings. That's always opposite from the first. Fourfold's gonna be either north or west to start. It's gonna be west, west, east, east. West, west, east, east. We are starting on brick. Start on brick, the hitbox one is safe. West, west, east, east. And east twice. End on sand. East twice, end on sand. End on sand. One more at random. Stand on brick, stand on brick. That's the bricky one. And seasons. Orb is on 3. Dodge ice, look away from 3. Look away, look away. Don't get baited by the clone line AoEs. You have time to dodge. Don't get baited. Don't get baited. I'm baited. I'm baited.
Oh
God.
lordy, I'm baiting.
None of us are free from sin. Raid wide going out.
Especially you.
I'm really not. Next is Verdant Path getting inside the hitbox. Front or back is also safe, but inside's the safest. Healer LB3 will be coming up before too long. Do not use LB unless you are a healer. So be in the hitbox, in the hitbox. Healer LB3 is one of our only ways of getting people alive. Only consistent ways anyway. Fuck our eyes. Next up we have Baleful Blade, followed by fourfold from a clone. Healers can LB3 whenever they need to pick people up. Just keep in mind we might have other mechanics coming up. This is a knockback towards either 1 or 4. We're getting knocked back towards 4. Knock back towards 4. And then it's west, west, east, east on the clone. Knock back towards 4, then west, west, east, east on the clone. Or out, out, in if you prefer. West, west, east, east on the clone. And east twice, east twice. Healer LB3 you still need to. Chains to break, followed by a raid wide. Healer LB3 if anybody in your party's dead. Nicely done, team. Do not rush ahead. Do not rush ahead. There are traps. Additionally, there's a glowing pad up to the north. Do not take the glowing pad unless you are the assigned duelist. Anybody else taking it will not have the actions and will die. Is there anybody still dead that we need to pick up? Cool.
No, looks like not.
Good talk. Make sure to get your chest, y'all. Don't go to the north unless you are the duelist. Additionally, I do need Spooky Cookie and Leslie and Faye to come up here with the duelist. You'll be buffing the duelist before she jumps down. I'll stand here with you for emotional support.
Go all the way to the dot. You can go dot to dot to dot. There are no more traps.
Dot to dot to dot to dot to dot.
Dot 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 dot.
Anyway, so Kitty's gonna go up by the pad. Once Kitty is ready to go, she will let you know by either jumping or saying something. That's when you hit her with Dervish, Cure 4, any buffs that you have. I've got my my Searing Light loaded up here. So Searing Light, dances, anything of that sort. Let us know when you're good, Kitty. Oh, she's not in the call, is she?
Probably not.
She's good. Alright, go ahead, hit her. Drop the stuff. Buff, 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 buff. Oh,
As
she
long
said
as you have
1
a-
second. Damn it!
As long as you have a backup percept for after Phantom.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You can totally drop it right now. After Phantom, make sure to reslot it.
Yep. For anyone curious, the duel gives you double damage and double health. It doesn't give you an achievement. It doesn't do it, like, the drops from it aren't unique or anything. It is just for the sake of the raid. Some people like to do it because the FF logs parses do include the duel, so big number. Some people like to do it just for the thrill of it. But it's in no way like oh god, I haven't done the content fully unless I've done the duel. Nah, it's just kind of an extra thing.
I joined BA West by accident. Anyways, did you need me up here?
Oh, I was telling them that you were gonna say something or jump or something when you're ready to go. Then you just stood there, and I was like, wait, no shit, she's not in the call.
I put in yell chat. I need a second.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I'd already popped my searing light, but I've got like what 35 seconds on it, so
Yeah, I'm kind of shitting myself right now because I'm really nervous.
Do you need to talk through anything?
No, I'm watching a video right now, and it's like, right, I have excellence. I can literally, this fight lasts like 5 seconds somehow.
The trap maze is the hardest part, and you cheese it with excellence. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the cheese well enough too.
The what?
The how to use the excellence, because you don't use it at the start.
Yeah, you use it as soon as you get knocked back, as soon as the entrapment starts, right?
Yep. So as soon as you're in the arena, you've gotten through with the percept. Swap the percept out for dispel. So your dispel excellence when you actually pull. You use this spell for Surge of Vigor, you use Excellence once you get knocked back, and then you swap that out once you're back at the boss for that second Percept, and then you're good to go.
Yeah,
if you didn't bring a second Percept, then you just kill the boss and hope you don't get got by the trap after the duel.
Yeah, I keep hearing about that, so I definitely did not. I definitely brought another Percept.
I always take a second, yeah.
Okay, I just...
Yeah, much love.
So what do I say when I'm ready? I'm just like, hey, I'm ready. And then, like,
You say, hey, you're ready, or jump is traditional. Because we often deafen and stuff for it. But yeah, you're good to go?
I guess.
Alright.
Good luck!
Luzrid, Spooky, and I will give you the big one.
When do I go now?
Yep, you're good to go.
Run! Don't forget the percept once you hit the ground.
Yep. Alright, much love. We'll make our way back to Dahu.
I almost just fucking blew myself up. Holy shit. Whoa! Okay, BRB.
Yeah. I always deafen for the duel. I've done the duel probably hundreds of times at this point. Honestly.
Why?
Oh, I'm popping the wrong fucking markers. I didn't have these
Yeah,
markers.
it was the
Yeah.
You said you updated it. You are lying to me, Fi.
I have them. I just haven't switched
Look,
them around.
it's D for Dahu. Come on.
I didn't even press my you shithead. I think
that was mine.
Anyway, welcome to Dahu. Dahu is a mini boss, but Dahu still has hands. Please respect Dahu. There are ground AoEs and line AoEs. Dance Dance Revolution. Make sure to watch your footing. There's a left-right shockwave. When one goes off, the other will go off afterwards. Try to center up every time for that, just to make it an easier dodge. He will charge twice and then do a big conal AoE, get close after the second charge. The main new thing in this fight is Spit Flame. 4 players will get numbers above their head, a 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot, or 4 dot. It's limit cut. You know how to do limit cut. But if you get a number above your head, go to an add near your marker. So if I get a 1 dot above my head, I go up to the 1. I stand on an add near that 1 when that time comes. It's all good. After the left, right, and the adds die, there's a knockback into an empty spot, followed by rotating cones. You rotate around with them. If you're ever in the wrong spot, you can rotate the opposite direction and dodge. It's really smooth. Sometimes that's better than having them chase you the whole way. There's an add phase. Main tank will hold until all are out, then one of the off tanks will provoke. We'll kill the adds, then main tank will provoke back. The second time through, there is another Spit Flame that comes out. With that knockback, with the open spots, 2 tanks get marked with flares. They need to go to south safe spots and mitigate. The party gets knocked to north safe spots. I'll say north, don't just get hit straight north, look for the safe spots. So tanks to the south safe spots, party to the north safe spots. Cross the purple line when you're ready to go. Like I said, this is an add, not exactly an add phase. This is it's got hands, it still can kill people. It's best to make sure to get hit by only one thing if you're really not sure, because getting hit by more than one will 100% kill you. So we're waiting on Alex and waiting on Kai. Once Alex is ready to go, we're good to go. Duel has been cleared as well. Let's just go ahead and pull. We're not doing a countdown. I'm pulling. Fuck you.
Too late.
Fuck me yourself, you coward. Anyway, this fight starts with multiple sets of ground AoEs.
There's some fighting over aggro, it seems.
Yeah. Watch your footing, don't get got, don't get got. Don't get got. We don't get an LB on this fight, so there's no reason to get got. Charging south, east, or charging south straight up. Then charging north, Always best to play it safe on the mini bosses, because like I said, we don't get LB here, so no free reses. And there's no enrage, so we don't have to worry about that. There's gonna be multiple sets of line AoEs, but the next cast bar is Spit Flame. Be watching for dots above your head. It's Limit Cut, Flood Ray, y'all know what you're doing.
More limit cut.
What's a limit cut?
Lines going out, be watching for numbers above your head. They're starting up when the cast bar starts. Watch for numbers above your head, get to an add near your marker. An add near your marker. If you can't, any add is fine. Just try to get add near your marker. There's gonna be a left-right shockwave next. Center up best you can. Left-right shockwave, center up best you can. It's not a tuple slammer, unfortunately. Dodge into the other side, though. And then you're gonna get knocked to an empty spot. Find an empty spot and get knocked to it. You can cancel the knockback with a dash if you're a Chad Pog gamer. Look at all those Chad Pog gamers. Fire Breathe, rotating cones. We're starting to the west, southwest mainly. Sorry, southwest? We're gonna rotate around with them. You can stop towards the east or northeast if you feel like being lazy. You don't have to keep running. And add phase is next. Main tank is gonna hold it for 3 sets of adds to pop out. They get stacking damage up buffs, so make sure to kill them fast. You can start to pick people up if they're dead as well, because since we don't get LB3, we have to pick them up anyway. That can let people build gauge and resources, or at least get practice in. Harvin may be a millennial who wants to die, but we don't want Harvin to die. Are you a millennial, Harvin? Or are you... I don't actually remember your exact age. I don't know if you told me your exact age before. Anyway.
It's 96, so I don't know.
Yeah. Damn.
69 years old.
We have line and ground AoEs next. Watch your footing. Line and ground AoEs. There's a left-right shockwave coming up shortly. If needed, only get hit by one thing. It can be hard to dodge everything. If needed, only get hit by one. Spit Flame is next. Be watching for numbers above your head. Spit Flame, watching for numbers above your head. Get to an add near your marker. An add near your marker.
A lot of dead bodies.
Tanks with flares will be knocked to... Tanks with flares will be knocked to south safe spots, party to north safe spots. Tanks with flares knocked to south and mitigate. Party to north. Cancel the knockback if you're a Chad Pog gamer. 5 rotating cones are next.
I suck.
Yep. Rotate around with. We're gonna start towards the south, or start towards the 4, really. Rotate around with. You can stop towards the north when you're done. Like I said, you can already pick people up if they're still down. There's gonna be charging, or there's gonna be a left-right shockwave, followed by charging once or twice. Just remember to dodge over after the first one. You can outrange them if you're ever already out there, but you know, build gauge and resources whenever something's getting low. That's best practices if it's a mini boss. Anything without an enrage, you might as well build gauge and resources. There is a chest to get here. It doesn't give much, but you might as well get it. And then there are no traps. We can make our way to the Queensguard Arena.
Is it true if you age in Brazil, you age in real life? I've been waiting far too long to say that.
I've got a meme to share in DRS chat. Hold on.
We almost got to see. We almost got to hear the fine meme of one charge, just one. Neat.
Yeah, that
You don't
is
hear that very often.
that is old. That's solidly like what 2 years, 3 months old or so, if not longer.
It's almost old enough to drive.
Yeah,
I suppose I have to point out for people who have not been on fire runs or don't know me. I don't want to say I'm the best at this content, but I've certainly been doing it one of the longest. I've been hosting this. My first run I went on was day 1 of it being out. Oh look, my internet died. I'm not the best at having internet connection. Anyway, 1 sec. Alright, I live. So my first day of doing this content was day 1. My first day of hosting a run myself was day 6 of the content being out. I called it my second time in. My first time to Trinity Seeker, I was already calling it. Not all that successfully, mind you, but someone has to. So you are in experienced hands. Whether or not you are in good hands is up for debate.
Come for the prog, stay for the shit posting.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
I've been doing this a long time. And just keep waiting for more people to be able to call it so I can be finally set free. Instead I just keep thinking, yeah, I'll never be free. The next one will come out, and then I'm planning when the next Adventuring Foray comes out to take like 2 weeks off of work and host multiple times a day, if not like all day runs for the first like week or so. I'm going hard, y'all. I got plans. Anyway, don't worry about applying Steel and Spell yet. I'm gonna use the kind of east side of this arena to start assigning roles. So the A and the B are going to be for our 2 main tanks. We do need 2. Hey, Opal wants to steal one. The 1, 2, 3, 4 are yeah. So we got Opal and Manelp stealing the main tank spots. Manelp, do you have Dispel?
It's in my holster, yeah.
Cool. So we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4 do need tanks on those as well. So we got Classic Wheat North 1. We got Sif as South 1, Harvin as South 2. I will need a tank on the 2 marker. Anastasia, thank you for volunteering. You will be North 2. I will explain what all of that means. So, as far as action requirements for this fight goes, healers need Steel or Spell slotted. That will be applied during Countdown. You will apply that for opposite damage types. So you'll apply Steel Sting to all casters and all healers in your party. You'll apply Spellforge to all physical damage dealers in your party. That is, all tanks, all melee, all range fizz. That is during Countdown. You might need to reapply near the start of the fight. Sif has linked a couple images helpfully. The first one is the Special Boy image. Several classes do both types of damage. There's a spot where we click off tethers that match a certain color, and that's where we would apply the opposite damage buff. I will call that out. Calls for that will look something like: click off Spellforge, apply Steel Sting. Paladins, Dark Knights, Bards, Ninjas, and Reapers need Steel Sting. Or it will look like: click off Steel Sting, apply Spellforge. Red Mages need Spellforge. So those will be the calls. Just be ready for that if you are one of the healers. As for actual mechanics, this is a multi-phase fight. 3 phases in all, technically 4. There's a lot to cover. Most of these are you do one thing or you do the other, but I do have to explain all of it out so you have a decent idea. Try not to zone out too much. If you do, though, you can learn by doing that showbiz, baby. First off, there's all of them grouped together just for a couple raid wides, but then the first real phase begins. Opa will be taking the Knight in the center. Manelp will be taking the Warrior off to the east. We do have to keep their damage decently balanced. Try to keep an eye on their damage values. Don't burn one too fast. The first real mechanic, they tether with purple or yellow tethers. We click off whichever buff matches their color. That's where I say click off Steel Sting, apply Spellforge, or click off Spellforge, apply Steel Sting. Practice clicking off your buffs, either using right click on the buff, using the middle mouse, or the middle controller button if you're on a controller, or you can make a macro to click off the actions. If someone has that to post in DRS chat, that would be lovely. The macro can click them off nice and easy as well if needed. Next up, we have bombs. Bombs will, you'll either be tethered or not. If you see a tether moving around, that is your tether. Bombs will also be tethered or not. I will call out the combination after that. It'll look something like tethers to small, rest to large, or tethers to large, rest to small, to tell you which bombs to go to. But you have to do them in a special way. If it's a sword from the Knight, we resolve bombs on the outside edge of the arena. If it's the shield from the Knight, that's where we go bowling. So the second and third image from Sif is the bowling images. You can see there's a knockback from the very center that we use to get knocked back into our bombs. In that second image Sif linked, anything red gets hit, so don't be in any of those spots. You get hit like 90-degree angle or less towards the knight, if that makes sense. The GIF afterwards also shows you it in action. So you get knocked into your bombs, tethers to small, rest to large, or tethers to large, rest to small, depending on what I call for. If you were tethered, you will land before your bomb does. Make sure to adjust where an explosion happens as you're landing. If you land and an explosion happens at the same time, go to that spot. Otherwise, there's a bomb above your head that's about to be coming down. You don't want that to happen. The warrior will periodically do a move that needs dispelled. It is the job of the tank holding it to dispel it. I will call out that timing. The next mechanic that comes up is another set of tethers. Tethers will go to green wind AoEs. The rest will go to purple gravity AoEs. These appear in the intercards, and they're very big, so they overlap. Don't get Venn diagrammed. So tethers to green, rest to purple. The knight will be in the center and do sword or shield. After the green or purple goes off, you'll get directly center, and then you either stay in or you immediately get out towards the marker I call for. If you stay in too long and wait for something else to happen, you will get got. Keep in mind, you do have to get in to recenter yourself, and if I say get out, run towards that marker immediately. Be ready for it. All of that loops. It's not too bad. There's a raid wide and tank buster as well, but who the fuck cares? And that's it for Phase 1. Phase 2 will no longer need Steal and Spell. This is the gap mechanic. You've all done Orban Monastery. The mechanic that Mustadio has with the gap, that is the one we're talking about. It also appears in the Gabriel duel in Bajan Southern Front, it appears in a CE in Zadnor, and it appears in the Dalriada, etc. Show your whole ubu, indeed. So, 3/4 of your character will have a red ring around you, 1/4 will have a gap, that is the important part. When the gap comes up, you turn it towards the gunner in the center of the arena, then you turn your gap towards a turret you're aligned with. What do I mean by a turret you're aligned with? There'll be turrets to the west and east, they overlap a bit. Just pick one, any one you're kind of near, align yourself with the little targeting arrow of that, and point your hole towards that one after you've done the center. All of the others will miss you, you just have to focus on one rather than all of them. So, for the first gap mechanic, there are frogs. I call out the safe spot, it's not too bad. Keep in mind with that first one, Opalt. As the soldier tank, you'll have to wait to move with the group until the gap has already started casting, basically. I can call out the timing. You can go for the center safe spot near the boss for that. If you start running too early, the ad will follow you and probably tether. Also make sure to keep a gap closer up, any of those gap mechanics for that, because otherwise, if you don't have a gap closer, your gap will stay open. No, otherwise the soldier can follow you in tether, and you've seen what happens there. It's great fun. So yeah, first one is frogs, not too bad. There are 2 sniper turrets that spawn. The Knight Soldier tank picks up the west turret. Minaup, you'll pick up the east turret. We just have main tanks do that now. You can do that without even moving the gunner out of the center. It's not too bad. You'll just be involving there rather than having somebody else pick it up. It's a little cleaner to assign. Then we have Fire Ice, like in Castrum. It's the same as Addermal, like in Castrum. It's the same as what fucking what 04? Yeah, Deltascape or not Deltascapes. Yeah, that was Deltascape. Yeah. So 04, the Fire Ice. Yeah, fire is a pyretic. Stop moving, sheath your weapon, take no actions. Wait. Ice is keep moving to the animation stuff. There are jumping clones, which is just another gap mechanic. You wait till I tell you where to go. We might see bouncing bullet turrets, which are like normal mode, but they might bounce twice or 3 times or just once. It, changes up. So be ready for that. One last phase to talk about. This is kind of the hardest phase. There's an image that Sif has linked with a bunch of yellow and yellow circles as well as 2 blue circles. I'm going to link that again, just because this one's very important. Healers. You are either healer 1 or healer 2 in your party. You can double check. But for instance, I'm party F. Healer 1 in my party, F1 is the spot for them. Healer 2 in party F is F2. They can mark on the map with a flag where their spot is, just so they remember. But once phase 3 comes up, they will be needing to get to that spot. There are orbs there that need reflected. Phase 3 starts up, those orbs spawn, and about a GCD into the orb being out, that's when that healer will use either Reflect, or they'll use a Light Curtain. Reflect or Light Curtain, it doesn't matter, but they'll stand in the AoE. There are 2 AoEs that go off, they just stand in one of the 2, reflect it, it's dead, move on. Those 2 are kind of for safety, so if any near you are missed, look around and try to run into that spot. If you get it with the second reflect, that prevents the whole instance from taking a damage down. So that's very helpful. Please keep an eye out for missed reflects. Healers double check if you're healer 1 or healer 2, so you know what to adjust to if needed. Or you know where to start and how to adjust if needed. In addition to that going off, we had a North 1, North 2, South 1, South 2 assigned. North 1 and South 1 will have stances on. There are blue aura spheres that spawn straight north and straight south. North 1 picks up the North 1, South 1 picks up the South 1. Everybody helps burn those down. The tank will invuln after it dies. It puts a tank buster above their head, and then they can turn their stance off. Their job is done. There is a second wave of reflects, as well as a second wave of those aura spheres. So that's why North 2, South 2, they turn their stance on. They pick up the North or the South, depending on which theirs is. We burn those down again, we get back to it. Healers will need to reflect that second time. While we're doing all that, though, there are the 4 ethereal wards in the 4 corners that we burn down. This part's like in normal mode. They do a Coat of Arms, which is a 2-directional Ravana parry. So when Coat of Arms is casting, do not greed as it starts to complete the cast. Wait and rotate around the boss if needed. Be very careful about big AoEs. This includes Asais, dances, even like summoner AoEs or whatever. Can clip multiple ones. Just be safe about it. But yeah, if we get through that, we're done. Like I said, 3 mini phases. Not all that bad. A lot of do this or do this. But goddamn, you have to learn a lot, and your brain can turn to soup while you're learning it.
Soup?
Exactly. Brain hurt. Honestly,
yeah, it's learning 3 EX fight all at once.
I've done this fight without doing any calls, and it went just about the same, or without any explanations. It went just about the same as doing explanations. A lot of it is just handled by calls. I just try to prep you a bit ahead of time of what to look for. Cross into the arena once you are ready. Remember, healers, we need a Steel Sting and a Spellforge healer per party. If any party is missing either Steel or Spell, I need to know ahead of time. Please let me know. Otherwise, once we're all crossed in, I will start our countdown. It's like we're waiting on Risha, Lorianne, Gardenia, Mailing, and Carter. Carter's in the other call. Lorianne is knows what they're doing. Are they here? It's a good question. They're a healer, I believe. Yeah, they're a healer, so they have Sealer Spell. Dimmadome, are you here? Doug Dimmadome?
Hey!
There we go. Okay, just checking. Stance check, food check, stance check, vibe check. I'm starting countdown. Apply Steel and Spell in your party. Steel Sting to all casters.
Sorry, my bad. I just went to grab a pickle.
I wasn't sure if you fell asleep at your desk because I know it's early there.
Oh, it's fucking 7 in the morning.
Stance check, food check, vibe check, Steel and Spell in your parties. You can get up towards the ads once you have your buffs, as they do not pull until we actually attack them.
Posture check. Make sure you're seated correctly.
Yeah.
How
Post
dare
check.
you? I'm
Make
seated
sure-
like a banana.
Make sure Fire Reel is here. Group these up best you can. Two sets of raid wise. They jump away once we hit what's it called? Once we hit 80%, or just after 2 raid wise. So you know, it's not often Fresh Prog hits the 2 raid wide mark, but you never know. So it hits the 80% mark. But we lost 1. That's nice. All right, taking 1 in the center, taking Knight in the center, taking Warrior off to the east. Balance damage as best as you can. We're gonna click off Steel Sting. Stance check, please. Click off Steel Sting, apply Spellforge. Click off Steel, apply Spell. Red mages need Spellforge. No one should have the yellow buff. Red mages need Spellforge. No one should have the yellow buff. Keep damage balanced best you can. Sword Omen. We're gonna be resolving bombs on the outside edge of the arena. Resolving bombs on the outside edge of the arena. Knight jumping away before long. Check for a tether. Check for a tether. Tethers will go to large, rest to small on the outside edge. Tethers large, rest small on the outside edge of the arena. Tethers large, rest small, outside edge. If you land before your bomb does, adjust where an explosion just happened. If you land before your bomb, adjust where an explosion just happened. And Dispel is going to come up next. Knight is way behind since it went untargetable. Please work on it. As far as rend armor heroes go, Generally, Ren 1 gets the one west in the arena, Ren 2 gets the one east in the arena, but it's kind of the Wild West, pun intended. Bit of downtime before the next mechanic. The next mechanic, we're gonna get tethers that tell us whether we go to green or to purple. Remember, tethers will go to green, rest will go to purple. They overlap in the cardinals, don't get Venn diagram. They're balanced out now, y'all. You can get back to work on the other one. Check for a tether. Check for a tether. Tethers will go to green, rest to purple. After this goes off, we're gonna get under the knight and stay in, hugging the knight towards the safe spot. Get in. We're hugging the knight towards D. Close to the knight towards D. Dispelling the warrior is next. Dispel the warrior, and raid widens are coming out. Tank busters are next, followed by all of that looping. Our Lady of Favorable Patterns, blessed be thy name. Hallowed is the ground you walk upon. Please bless us this day with a favorable pattern. Yes!
Nice.
Haha, my prayers are rewarded. Alright, nothing changes. You no longer need Steal or Spell. I mean, don't click it off, but healers can swap off of it. Burn the knight down more, it's gonna go untargetable again. We are gonna be getting knocked back from the orb in the center. Check for a tether. Check for a tether. Tethers will get knocked to small, rest will get knocked to large. Don't burn this down too much, y'all. Tethers knocked to small, rest knocked to large, towards 4, towards 3, or towards the warrior. Towards 4 or towards B, something like that. Tether small, rest to large. If you land before your bomb does, adjust where an explosion just happened. Nico, cousin, do you want to go bowling? Look at big American titties! Anyway. Keep these balance, burn these down. Warrior needs dispelled. Yeah, me too, bestie.
Spell? Hello?
Hello? Alright, warrior can be burned down now as well. Phase 2 is gonna start up. For phase 2, we take the soldier off to the west in the arena as far as it goes. We take the gunner in the center. Soldier off to the west, gunner in the center. For the first mechanic, there's chemicals in the fire turning the frickin' frogs gay.
Pardon?
You heard it.
These chemicals in the fire turn the frickin' frogs gay.
Okay, that's what I thought you said.
Anyway, this is a gap mechanic. Remember, Opal, don't run to the safe spot just yet. I'm gonna call it a little earlier than the game wants me to know it. It's not Cacbot. I'm faster than Cacbot. We're going to sea. We're going to sea. Going to sea in a poorly constructed submarine. Opal, you're good to move. Turn your gap towards the gunner in the center. Gap towards the gunner in the center. Gap towards the gunner in the center. Align yourself with a turret. Gap towards the turret you're aligned with. Turret you're aligned with.
Gotta do.
Alright, we need someone to pick up the tank. Pick up the center. Pick up the center. Tank buster's going off. Raid White's coming out next. Awesome. You back up, Minop? Sif has it. Okay, Minop's got it. Cool. Minop's got it. Next up, we're going to be the turret spawning east and west. It is going to be the job of the main tanks to pick those up as well. We're just going to burn those down, and the main tank will involve kind of late into the sniper shot cast. And like Minop, you can just rotate around and pick it up without even moving the gunner from the center. It's pretty chill.
Well, yeah, there's no positionals in here.
Exactly. Well, we have some people who run all the way over to it. The hitboxes are huge. Burn down both gun turrets. It can involve the sniper shot cast. There's a raid wide coming out next. Raid wide coming out. And in lieu of calling, I'm going to read a poem for the next mechanic. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. Stop moving. Sheath your weapon. Sheath your weapon. Take no actions. Take no actions. Wait. Wait. Wait for it to fall off. Wait for it. Wait for it. And back at it like a crack at it. It's from a song. Run the Jewels. Yankee and the Brave part 4, I think? No, part 2? I don't remember the fucking song name. Anyway. We have jumping clones are next. This is another gap mechanic. Currently, we have north and west safe, but they will jump twice. Don't rush ahead. We have both south, and then we are southwest is safe. C and D. C or D is safe. Turn your gap towards the gunner in the center. Gap towards the gunner in the center. Gap towards a turret you're aligned with. A turret you're aligned with. We're having tank buster or raid wides followed by tank busters. Healers can LB3 if anyone's down. Healers LB3 if they have anyone down. Phase 3 coming up next. Healers will need either reflect or light curtain going into phase 3. Tank busters coming out. ABC North, DEF South. Healers to your spots. North 1, South 1. Tank stance on. We are burning down the aura spheres. Healers wait about a GCD after your sphere spawns. They're called spiritual spheres. Wait a GCD after it spawns, then pop your light curtain or reflect. Light curtains and reflects. Watch for any near you that are missed. Move into it if any near you are missed. Awesome. Always respect Coat of Arms and do not greed. We did not get a damage down. That doesn't mean to slack off. Coat of Arms coming up. Respect it. Do not greed. Directional parries. North 2, South 2 stances on. Healers back in position. We got one more wave to go to. Don't worry, Trimble. I got your spot. Again, reflect your spot as needed. Burn down the aura spheres. North 2, South 2. Pick them up. Make sure to involt after it dies. Adjust near you for any missed. Coat of Arms. Respect it. Do not greed. Healer LB3 if you have anyone down. At this point, it's just a damage burst. Damage race. Make sure to use your actions here, y'all. This is a race. Coat of Arms, respect it. Do not greed. Do not greed. Alright, nicely done. I went pretty spicy there to try to get the kill. Alright, anybody still dead? Or were we lucky on LB3 stuff? That's really... We've had... This... Alright. There are 2 chests to get here, by the way. Make sure you get 2 chests. Thank you, Mushi, for that second chest. We always thank Mushi. God rest his soul. He's alive, I just don't know where he is. There are no traps until the next arena. We've had, like, I want to call it luck. I don't know if it actually is or not. Just the fact that, like, nobody's been dead in instance after kills. Like, people have been dead. It just so happens that nobody dies after the LBs, or the LBs are saved to the end, or Arises are just that perfect.
I'm so rusty at these fights.
Yeah, and you volunteered to be one of the main tanks.
Yeah, I mean, they've done this so many times. I don't care.
That is the cool thing about this compared to, like, something easier like BA. Reprog is a thing. Like, the fights have hands.
I got 4 stacks of Thrice Come Ruin on Dahu. That's shameful.
Fuck. This is like throw out your computer and never come back. Anyway, who wants to main tank if they can step up to the front?
Furio,
Marvin.
I'm calling this. Sorry, I'm calling this. We're going to D this time. I hope.
Here's hoping, my dude. Yeah, would you believe if I said I put you on the roster specifically so I hoped we would get D?
I'd love to just hear you say we're going to D's now. That's what I came here for.
Here's hoping. Anyway, welcome everyone to Phantom. Phantom has a number of mechanics, but almost all are handled by Caller. It does 2 symbols in each row. At the start, we'll start at either A or D. We will follow along to the bottom here, so we'll follow A all the way down to 1 or D all the way down to 4. There are donuts that follow every dot on the ground. Keep in mind there's one at the very bottom, so don't run into the death wall. But, you know, keep moving with it. After 3 pulses of a line laser in the lane next to us, that's when we move over. I do call out the timing, but be ready for it. Besides the movement stuff, there is an add phase. The add phase has 3 waves of white adds and red adds. We burn down the red adds, we heal up the white adds. It's a bit of a race between DPS and healers. Healers, don't use all your big cooldowns on the same one at the same time. I used to have something wildly NSFW, I said, as part of that explanation. But I am a moderator of this server and need to set a good example, so my DMs are open. I am not saying it on voice call. If anybody's curious what that wildly NSFW thing is, just hit me up in my DMs and I'll tell it to you. Have I not told you, Naxim? Have you not? Have I just missed you?
Wow.
God damn. All right, Naxim just missing out. I have one
Wow.
brain cell. I'm so sorry. Anyway.
Ask every time, but I haven't actually DM'd you.
Oh, you haven't DM'd me, so that's why. I only check my
Just
DMs.
DM'd you, and you're leaving me on red.
I've got one brain cell. I'm waiting until after the fight. We're taking a break at TA anyway. Fuck off. Anyway, besides the ad phase, the fight's pretty easy. You can step across the line in the arena once you're ready to go.
This
Today
is where
I
we
assign-
use Banish, right?
Indeed,
Yeah.
I assigned Banish to Avora Moonfall. It's Avora's first time in here, so whether or not they brought Banish, we'll find out. Is that right, Avora? Your first time in here. Never done this content before. Anyway. Just for saying. So, I'll start the countdown. You can even pull with Banish. But stance check. There's a lot of stance fuckery switching around at the end of that fight, so only Harvin should have it on. Food check, stance check, vibe check. We re-up on actions at TA, so if you have any charges left to burn, you can go ahead and use them here. First time, be gentle. Yeah, I'm Fresh Prog, y'all. Why are you trusting me to call this?
I just want a puppy.
Big puppy.
It's a very good dog.
Yeah. We're going to either A or D to start. Oh no! I forgot to explain. There's a raid wide. Oh no! Oh god!
no.
It hurts! Oh no! Oh god! They have AirPods in. Anyway.
Who found my bones?
We're going to either A or D. Wait with bated breath.
Please.
We're going to D.
Holy shit, finally!
Come on, D! Stop! Anyway, we follow these dots along. The curse is broken. We follow the donut. It follows every dot. Harvin, you need to stay a bit towards the front of it just to not get other people got. Remember, there's one at the bottom. Don't run into the wall. After 3 laser pulses in the line next to us, we move over. There's 1 laser pulse, 2 laser pulse, and move to 3. Oh, yeah, God, that felt better than sex. We're gonna be standing at either 3 or 4 for the next mechanic. We'll just move back and forth here at the south. We're starting at 3. Starting at 3. 3's nuts! After 3 pulses, we move over to 4. There's 1, 2, and move to 4. After 3 more pulses, we move back. There's 1, 2, and move back to 3. Boss is gonna jump center for the ad phase. Remember, 3 waves, we heal up the white ads, we DPS down the red. Don't use all your big heals on the same one at the same time.
No ad skip, that's sad.
Keep in mind, y'all, we've skipped the ad phase before resistance honors were a thing.
Oh,
it
God.
took a lot of pump, and we only did it like once or twice. But like,
Yeah.
it was doable. But like,
I would never expect the ad skip on the Fresh Prog run.
oh yeah, of course not. But like, just something to I only see so many runs actually pump here and skip ads, and I'm like, we did that early, y'all. Like,
Listen, all I'm saying is, see ice spikes are disbanded.
Yeah. See ice. Well, we're not gonna see ice spikes here. I guess we're disbanding. Make sure to build gauge and resources before this is done. Keep in mind there are traps after this area, so we do not rush ahead. We have handy people that will show you where about as far as you can go. Make sure to get the chest. If anybody's dead, make sure to pick them up, but y'all never have anybody dead, so I've stopped looking. Do not rush ahead of whoever's going in front, basically. They know where they're going. You can go dead center of this arena and percept once. Then go up to this alcove, but don't go into the room. Percept once.
Door prog!
We call this door prog, 'cause it's very easy to get caught on the door when trying to get around it. Please don't auto run around traps, y'all. In the next transition zone, there is another little alcove like that. Percept at the front of it. Get up to the front, you can percept again.
Is it Farn who can show us how to
And you can go dead
interpret
center of this room to
traps?
percept one more time.
Sometimes, maybe.
That should get
server.
3. Yep. We are good to get to the next arena. And we are gonna take like a 5-minute break. I'm gonna make it a little longer. We're gonna come back at 25 past the hour, since I don't really expect to get beyond this. And honestly, I'm hoping we don't, because
we're gonna wipe here.
I'm fucking tired. Oh yeah, we're wiping here. With how damage has been, I'm not saying like damage is what I expect for Fresh Prog. Damage is not holy shit we accidentally cleared TA.
Plus y'all are gonna die, so.
Even if y'all have been like, I've listened to calls don't help you here. Good luck. We're gonna come back at 25 past the hour. So shake out the nerves, take a bathroom break, make another drink if you're an alcoholic. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sips wine.
I joke about alcoholism, but I'm like, I have like 2 drinks over the span of 4 hours. Like, oh
Wow.
no. Yeah, such a problem.
You lush.
2 craft cocktails over the course of 4 hours. And I'm honestly waiting for the first time that like I make a missed call because I'm too tipsy, because that's when I stop drinking on runs. Like it only goes so far. But yeah, shake out the nerves, take a bathroom break, stretch your muscles a bit. We're coming back at 25 past, where I will explain this hellscape of a fight. We'll have a bit of fun before the end of the night. Remember, these runs, I host these weekly. Classics also got some he's been hosting that are just prog runs and not just reclears. So there might be open spots. Sign up for those as well if you can make it. Other servers have plenty of runs. I don't like any prog style runs, but the good news about them is Aether Leg is always doing any prog, and you can slot in no matter your prog level and get practice. They're the best way to practice if you don't care about the outcome. So there's a lot of ways to get good fundamentals to learn the fights. We have videos, we have guides, we have simulators. I have come in an hour before my run starts to show people my stream VODs and teach them off of my VODs one-on-one, in a stream call, that kind of thing. This is gonna seem overwhelming if it's not already seemed overwhelming. But we don't expect you to get this in one go. We do this over the course of multiple weeks so you can learn at your own pace. You have a week to practice and ask questions, and if you've learned anything about Cafe, we are aggressively helpful. If you ask, we will be here to help out. So, cheers, I'll see y'all in 5 minutes. Soapbox over. Pathologically helpful. Anyway.
Alright, I am back.
Hi, back.
I don't mind if anybody judges me for making multiple different drinks, as long as nobody judges me for using multiple different glasses. I've used, what, 3 different, like, cocktail glasses over the course of the night?
Hey, we're not the ones doing the washing up.
Yeah, exactly. It's part of the fun, right? Like, if you're making craft cocktails, you gotta kind of, like, lean into it, I think. Otherwise, you just like making a cocktail, and then you're just sipping, like, room temp rye whiskey.
Who would do that? Not me.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say craft or crack cocktails? Because they're very different.
I said craft cocktails. I have some DMs to answer, actually. I wish I could say it. It's such a good line. And you might be saying, like, Fi, you've already been cursing up a storm. Like, you're only so SFW anyway, honey. This goes... This is I had, like, a come to Jesus moment with myself in the mirror. I'm like, this goes too far. I'm just going one DM after another.
Sorry, that's too good.
It's so good.
It is good.
It's so good.
I look back on those days fondly.
I can't say that.
I'm too.
You did.
I am a moderator of the server. I need to set an example. I can't say that.
Oh my god. No, you can't say that. That's good.
I can't say that.
Oh, I needed that. Thanks.
It's so good.
I'm dying, honestly.
I hope that, like, if anybody has any takeaways from the late nights and just, you know, the runs or whatever. DRS is difficult content, but, like, it's 2.5 years after it came out. We're not in that big of a hurry anymore. It's not that serious anymore. It's like 4 plus EX fights, up to 8 EX fights stapled together in a marathon. But, like, calls are great, explanations are great, and, like, we give room to mess up. It's not requiring perfection. It's not to the same degree that, like, I love BA, but BA is a glorified chat room. This isn't quite that, right? Like, this is a kind of a order of magnitude more difficult than that. But it's not all super serious, have to be perfect, like, oh god, I don't have my honors and my haste gear, I can't go into the content. Like, we have people who have cleared multiple times and still fuck up, like, a mechanic per fight. We have people come back to it and fuck up every mechanic because they're like, right, this still has hands. Like, there's no pressure, y'all. Like, learn at your own pace. We are here to help you out. Try to be patient with each other. Try to be patient with yourselves. Forgive yourself. And if you take away anything, take away that, like, maybe you can deal with a little harder content than you thought. We have a lot of people who do, like, BA and then DRS or whatever, who have never touched an extreme trial or a savage raid or anything, that then go, you know, that took some practice, but I got that down. Even if there weren't calls, I probably could have, like, over time learned that. Maybe I try the next extreme trial, and then they do. Or maybe, like, late into a patch cycle, like, before the next expansion, they just try some of the old Savage fights in a PF for kicks. And maybe they realize, oh, I can do this, and oh, I like this, and then maybe they have a static. And maybe they teach people, and maybe they start to get that, like, confidence in their own gameplay. And, the road to climbing the mountain starts a different place for each person, and if I can be a part of that, then, why would I not step in and help out with that? Anyway,
then 2 years later, you might find a sub for your static.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like, I pulled Sif into my static raid today. Buy me dinner, says Trimble.
Literally 2 years later.
Sif subbed in for my static today. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to Trinity Avowed. I hope you enjoyed that little motivational pick me up. You're about to die. I sounded like Tucker Carlson. Oh god. Hopefully I'd say hopefully the good
Why
part,
would you say something so horrible to someone?
That's awful.
Just like...
What's awful?
Controversial yet so brave. Oh shit. Anyway, Trinity Avowed, you're all about to die. Couple things to go over. The main mechanic in this fight is a hot cold. You're hot, you're cold, you're yes, and you know. It is the same as in normal mode, kind of overall. You need to zero out your hot cold. If you have 2 fire, you need to get hit by 2 ice. For instance, the first time through that's pretty easy. You get hit by the opposite. The second time through for each phase, there's an additional mechanic called Elemental Brand. I hope you like doing math at 2:30 in the morning. Or later in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, whatever. So you'll get a hot cold, and you'll get an Elemental Brand that adds to or subtracts from your hot cold. I believe Sif has probably linked images of what they look like. God bless.
Know it.
So that first image Sif linked has what each of them looks like, or you can mouse over to see it. So that modifies it. If I have a fire 2 for my hot cold, and I get an ice 1 for my elemental brand, you combine those together, and I still have a fire 1 that needs zeroed out. So I do the mechanics with fire 1 in mind. I get an ice 1 to zero it out. By the very end of the mechanic, all of it combines together and zeroes out for me. So I like to think of fire as positive numbers and ice as negative numbers and combine those together. But remember, it all together needs to zero out by the end. You may get a total of 3 or 4 for certain mechanics. If you get a total of 3 or 4, you just need to get hit more than once. Like if I have a 3, I need to get hit with a 2 the first time and a 1 the next time, or vice versa, etc. If they zero out on their own, your hot cold, your elemental brand, just get hit by nothing by following the empty spot along, etc. But let's talk about the actual different phases. So we have a staff phase, a sword phase, and a bow phase. They can happen in any order. The fight starts out with a raid wide and a tank buster. The tank buster is a shared tank buster. All tanks just stack together to the north for it. That's followed by the raid wide. The raid wide hurts like a motherfucker. Main tanks, please slot in Aether Shield at this time. You will Aether Shield every raid wide. It is called Gloria of Baja. Off tanks, do you trust your main tank? If you do, you can choose not to slot it in, and if they die, that's when you slot it in. If you don't trust them, also slot in Aether Shield and Aether Shield everyone as if you didn't have a main tank, because that's technically safer. But Aether Shield every raid wide called Gloria of Baja. We have 3 weapon swaps next. They involve either getting to the front of the boss, the back of the boss, or away from the boss. All 3 happen in a row, and that determines the order of the phases. I'm going to talk through the phases, staff, sword, and bow, and then staff 2, sword 2, and bow 2. So for staff 1, we get a hot cold, and then a forced march applies. Forced march is a debuff on your debuff bar. It points left, right, front, or back on your debuff bar. Depending on the facing of your character, it'll march you in that direction. So if I have a left forced march and I am facing the boss, it will march me to the left in the arena. It always goes 2 squares. You use this to resolve mechanics. So for staff, it's not too bad. Hot, cold, forced march. You get center, orbs come down in the 4 corners, and you get marched to whichever orb resolves your debuff. This is followed by a raid wide, and we get back to it. For sword 1, sword is the real hard part of this fight. It is the part that gets the most people. We have a simulator for it, but it only helps so much. So, you might see these markers have a little 1, 2, 3, 4 spot up to the northwest. That is our sword resolving safe spot. One of those 4 spots gets hit by exactly nothing. We're gonna say that the 4 spot gets hit by nothing. All spots a cardinal square from that square get hit by only one thing. So, for instance, if... Which was it? Yeah, I thought so. If this square gets hit by nothing, your options for how to resolve the mechanic are either the square with the A on it, the square with the B on it, the square with the C on it, and the square with the D on it. Each of those get hit by only one cleave. If you end up in between them like that, you get got. You die. If you end up one further out, you die. If you end up, all the way out here in the corner, you die. The only safe options are a cardinal square from that safe square, regardless of which safe square it is. Your job is to get to the safe square, spin around to see which clone you need to get hit by, and then sidestep to the side its sword is on. That's the side it cleaves. much like in normal mode, its sword cleaves half the arena facing out. So you just get to the safe square, spin around to find your clone, sidestep a cardinal square to the spot hit by just your clone, and that will keep you safe for that mechanic. Once your hot cold is resolved, you can just go to the safe square the next time. There are always 2 sets of sword cleaves, so if you miss it the first time, you do have a chance to get it the second. This is the hardest mechanic in this fight. It might all seem like gibberish. You're probably gonna die to it. That's fine. We have guides and, simulators to help you learn this later. For Bow 1, Bow we start by getting behind the boss, then we get a forced march. Tanks go to the front for another shared tank buster, and then a wall of fire appears at either the Bravo or the Delta wall. You need to get marched away from the firewall. You can just point towards one of the walls and adjust to the other side if you need to, but either way, you get marched away from the firewall, and then you get to the little one-lane strip on the opposite wall, and you get to play the pipe game. The pipe game is much like in normal mode, except there are 4 different elemental arrows, Fire 1, Fire 2, Ice 1, and Ice 2. There are more bends in the pipes than there is in normal mode, and unlike in normal mode, there's no little yellow line indicator to show you where to go. You have to figure it out yourself. The 2 ways to do this: you can either trace it with your mouse. They take every bend in the pipe, so they come down towards you. As soon as they hit a bend left or right, they take it. They keep moving towards you. They take the next bend left or right, etc. Or, one of the images Sif linked is a cheat sheet, technically 2 of the images. You can see there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up at the top, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the bottom. Whatever's at the top away from you comes down towards you and ends up in the corresponding square on the bottom. That can be a nice little cheat sheet to look at. I will call normal or inverted, or your, or your safety? Assistance? I don't know. But yeah, once you play the pipe game, that is done. There's a raid wide, and then we are done with Bow 1. The second time through each phase is where we get that elemental brand. That's when you have to do math. For Staff 2, it's not too bad. You get a hot cold, then an elemental brand that modifies it. The 4 orbs spawn in, so you get center to mitigate. And then clones appear north and east. The clones appear and will cleave off the entire row or column that they are on. Just get to your orb, find the spot hit by not a clone north or east, and jump up and down to show other people where it is, if you are very confident. That's followed by a raid wide, it's not too bad. Sword 2 is exactly the same as Sword 1. The only difference is you might have a total of 3 or 4. If you do, you need to hit on each set of cloves. You have cloves? Each set of cleaves. You have to resolve the mechanic twice, essentially. So if I have a Fire 4, I need to get hit by an Ice 2 on the first set of cleaves, and an Ice 2 on the second set of cleaves. Keep in mind, if I have a, Fire 3, I can't be a genius and stand where Ice 2 and Ice 1 intersect the first time through. That will just kill me because I got hit by 2. Doesn't matter if it would have resolved it out cleanly. But yeah, there's 2 sets of those. Resolve it both times if you need to, followed by a raid 1 and we're good to go. Bow 2 is the one that changes up the most. Clones appear north or east. We have to do the clone dodge first and then get away from the firewall. We either sidestep a square from the boss or we go intercards from the boss. I'll actually use markers to show this one as well, because this one can be a little confusing. So the potential safe squares are either the A and B safe square, that is the sidestep from the boss, or it would be the intercards to the boss, like the 1, 2, 3, or 4. Those squares would be the safe one. I'm going to say the A and B, just as a little cleaner. So if there's A and B, and then let's say there's a firewall over to the west at D. So what you would do, you either have to go to the A square or the B square. Once the orange AoEs go off, then you go to the wall over on the east side. You can stand middle until you see where the firewall is, and then sidestep into one of the safe squares, and then you're already closer to it. Otherwise, it's just a 50-50 whether you pick the right one or not. Popping sprint is your friend. What I always see people do, someone might go to A, see the firewall, and very late start to run towards B and get hit by the AoEs. Don't do that. If you're already on one, just commit and you sprint to make it to the other side when the time comes. Anyway, once you're at the safe wall, we get to play the pipe game again, but it's a little extra. You get a hot cold, you get a forced march, you get an elemental brand. So hot cold, elemental brand, forced march, pointing left, right, front, or back. A 2 square movement, remember? And then you have to play the pipe game. So in 8 seconds, you have to figure out where you need to go, where you need to start so your force mark points there, get there, and point it in the right direction. It's a 2-square movement only, sprinting affects it, wrong angle affects it, being slightly over the line affects it. If you get that right though, there's a raid wide, and then a tank buster where the tanks would point to the wall or the corner, and then that phase is done as well. Remember, there's a raid wide kind of at the end of each one, be ready for it. Tanks, if you go to Aether Shield, try to wait to see if people re-raise, because if you pop it too early, they can raise without Aether Shield and just die again. Healers! If you're arising as a healer, do not arise during a hot-cold phase, because it might be impossible for them to resolve it, and then they just die again. This is especially important for Orb phase, but like Sword phase, if they get hit by anything, they die. Bow phase, if they get hit by anything, they die. So it's best to just wait for the in-between phases to res again. That also goes for LB3. Tanks, if both healers in your party dies, it is usually the job of the off-tank to pop Sacrifice if they have it, and sack one of their healers alive, especially if LB3 is up. Otherwise, all your squishy DPS just die one at a time. It's kind of fun to watch, like, you know, little squishy flesh dominoes, but it's not the best for actually getting prog. Anyway.
That's a way to describe that.
That's TA. Calls only help you so much here. I can tell you the general idea of how to resolve everything, but you have to do the math and the positioning yourself. We have all kinds of ways to help you learn this, but the best way is to just die to it mercilessly. So you can cross the purple line once you're ready. You can let me know if you have any questions, either in voice, yell, or otherwise. Make sure you have a re-raiser pop, make sure you re-up your actions, tanks want Aether Shield, etc.
Are you not gonna do the fake pull thing?
I'm not, no, it's getting late enough in the night and I'm exhausted.
Okay.
Alright, we're just waiting.
Still have Shell 2 up?
Yeah.
Already?
If you need Shell, stand off to the left in the arena.
Okay, well,
I should ask, does anyone have it slotted? Because if not, I'll pop it. If someone has it.
We've been talking for a while about changing up the loadouts, mainly like Classic and I, because like they've been saying, and I agree, like they're outdated at this point, and not exactly how we practice stuff like here in Cafe. We were wanting to like try to standardize with like primal stuff as well, but a lot of primal stuff is geared towards re-clears, where I want to have like prog options as well, because like Fresh Prog is always going to be my focus. The re-clear vets will figure their own holsters out. I don't give a shit about them. I care about the poor scared newbies who are just like, please tell me what to take. I am shaking in my fucking boots. I need any lodestone to guide myself with.
There's
but not
too many
lodestone,
lost actions, I don't know
start.
which ones are good.
Exactly, like, the fucking people at Dalriata who haven't popped an action the entire time and aren't about to start now.
You did what to your boots?
Fi doesn't give a shit about you when you clear. That breaks my fucking heart. Anyway, I'm so sad. Don't say that. I wish I could run with my friends more. But, there's always more freshies to teach. I think we're good with Shell. So, we are all across the line. God help us all. Is Harvard gonna keep main tanking? Is Harvard in the call still? Harvard in shout chat?
Yep. That's Harvard in shout chat. That's the real question. Yeah.
Alright, Harvin's gonna keep main tanking, so tank stance check, food check, actions check, vibe check. We are starting our countdown. Thank you all for the patience, y'all. I know it's getting late. There's a lot to call and explain here. Get ready to die. Some Dark Souls stuff.
Get ready to die.
Remember, dying is any kind of mistake is just a learning experience. I need to make mistakes in order to learn. So welcome to the claw, I suppose. This fight starts with a shared tank buster. All tanks go to the front after pull. Here we go! I don't know why I've been doing that so much. Tank to the front for a shared tank buster? Wait, God, am I Chris Pratt now?
Yes, it's the rules.
Raid wide is next. Aether Shield and Mitigate. Aether Shield and Mitigate. 3 weapon swaps are next. This is where the fights actually start to hurt. Healers have to actually heal. Alright, we're getting to the front of the boss. To the front, that is. To the north. She's looking at you, you're looking at her. Next is getting south and out. Ranging casters south and out. Melee can wait till, getting out will be next, but at the flash of light. So, everybody out. Yeah, I jumbled it up a bit. Next will be being behind the boss. Stay behind the boss. Bow phase is first. Bofa is first. Tanks to the front of every shared tank buster. Check your forced march direction. You're gonna get marched towards either Bravo or Delta away from the firewall. You can just watch one and adjust if you need to go to the other. Getting marched towards Bravo. March towards Bravo. Do not greed. If you re-raise in the fire, you can get rescued, possibly. And welcome to bow phase. Check your hot cold. Check your hot cold. Inverted pattern. Inverted pattern. Trace it along with your mouse or use the cheat sheet, up to you. After this goes off, it's going to be followed by a raid wide. Try to wait for people to die and re-raise. After they re-raise, you are good to pop Aether Shield. Aether Shield and mitigate. Aether Shield and mitigate. We're going to point the boss back towards the center. Point back towards center. Sword phase is next. Like animals of slaughter, we should cut you down. Be at the front of the boss, that is pointed back towards the center. Pointed back to the center. She's looking at you, you're looking at her. Also go untargetable before too long, mind your cooldowns. Check your hot cold. Check your hot cold.
I'm sorry,
Clones.
Soren, I might have killed you.
Clones are spawning. Remember, never be on an intercard, cardinal from clones, or safe squares only. One is safe. One is safe. If you end on 3, you're gonna die. 1 or a cardinal from it. If you end on 3, you're gonna die. 1 or a cardinal from it. As Daft Punk says, one more time. Go to 2. 2 is safe. If resolved, go there. If you end on 4, you're gonna die. 2 or a cardinal from it. Also gonna return with a raid wide. Wait for people to re-raise if possible. Raid wide coming up next. Aether Shield and mitigate. Aether Shield and mitigate. And next, just keep the boss near the center if you can. Always nice when it's sword followed by staff. Alright, getting out from the boss. Melee can wait for the pulse of light. But what pulse of light, you say? That pulse of light. Check your hot cold. Check your forced march direction. Get center, mitigate, regens to keep people topped up. We're going to get marched to the orb that resolves your debuff. 2 square march, make sure to watch the facing. March to the orb that resolves, do not greed, do not greed. Do not greed. Your call is important to us. Please continue to not greed. And return the boss. Also gonna come back with a raid wide after the re-raisers. Aether Shield and mitigate. Aether Shield and mitigate. All of that's gonna repeat, except harder! Get south behind the boss. South behind the boss. Clones are gonna spawn north and east. That's gonna determine safe squares. That's what matters first. Squares go off first. We are going intercard squares from the boss. Intercard squares from the boss, and then to the wall at Bravo. Intercard squares first. Pop sprint if you need to. Get to the wall at Bravo. Wall at Bravo. Check your hot cold. Time for the shopping list. Check your hot cold. That's item 1. Add or subtract your elemental brand. This is your new total. If it zeroes out, follow the empty spot along. It also takes every bend in the pipe. Check your forced march direction. Hot, cold, elemental brand, force mark direction, normal pattern. Remember, 2 square movement, God help us all, do not greed. Group back up for another raid wide. Tanks point towards the wall, towards the corner if possible. Aether shield and mitigate.
It's sword next, no?
Yeah. Tanks point towards the wall slash corner. Yeah.
Sorry.
Away from the party is all I care about, really. Alright. Point back towards the group for sword face. Alright, make sure you're at the front of the boss. She's looking at you, you're looking at her. Alright, boss is going untargetable for long, might get cooldowns. Check your hot cold. Add or subtract your elemental brand. This is your new total. If it's a total of 3 or 4, you need to hit more than once. Do it in 2 separate hits. Never be on intercarts. Clones are spawning. Alright, 1 is safe. 1 is safe. If you end on 3, you're gonna die. 1 or a cardinal from it. As Daft Punk says, around the world, around the world. We got, sorry. 4 is safe, 4 is safe. Sorry. Spaced out there for a sec. Alright, coming back in with a raid wide. So sorry if that got anyone killed. Aether shield and mitigate. Aether shield and mitigate. We do have LB3s up. Main tank is dead. Somebody pull off.
Is now a good time to LB3?
Yep. Yep. We're going to be getting away from the boss next. Melee quick with Pulse of Light. Everybody out. Check your hot cold. Check your hot cold. Add or subtract your elemental brand. This is your new total. Get center, mitigate, regen, keep people topped up. This time we're going to walk to the orb that resolves your debuff and check north and east for clones. Walk to the orb that resolves, check north and east for clones. It's outside corners are safe. Outside corners are safe. Sometimes it's callable. Oftentimes it's not. Alright. Back in for a raid wide. Aether shield and mitigate. Aether shield and mitigate. Alright, well, this is the end of the road here.
You can do it.
I don't want to clear. I'm not saying that to like grief people. I would have called something wrong on purpose and pretended I didn't. But like, honestly, really fucking good showing, y'all.
That was good.
Very well done.
TA and range on the first night of a prog cycle was pretty good.
That was a good TA pull too.
Yeah. So like, I know that several people here, we have a good amount of vets on this run. I know that we also have people who had been on a run previously, either with other people or previous prog cycles or running with like classics run. But doing TA once versus doing it twice isn't all that big of a difference. You still die to a lot of stuff. And really, there's nothing that helps you do it like, you know, dying to it. So just the fact that we made it here into this Enrage at all, that is what we hope for a Fresh Prog. Like, kind of the high watermark for Fresh Prog is dying to TA Enrage. That may have seemed like chaos, gibberish, whatever. It just means that when you know, maybe you looked through a guide before you came in tonight, and some of it stuck, but maybe not all of it. If you go back and rewatch that guide, or watch one for the first time before next week, all of that stuff's gonna be like, oh, that's what I died to. Oh, that's how that works. And if you have any questions, like I said, we are aggressively helpful. We've got guides to share, we've got simulators. I've gone one-on-one with people before runs to help teach stuff.
He's been paid to run people.
Yeah, I was paid a $50 Amazon gift card for the first run I cleared people. I was paid a lunar whale to help carry a whole static, basically. I'm not proud. There's no ethical earning under capitalism. Anyway, y'all should feel really fucking good about yourselves. This is not an easy raid, and more so than that is an overwhelming raid. So just to get through to the end of the hardest boss, essentially, with your head still screwed on straight, hopefully not panicking too much. That's a really good way to end a first night. Classics gotta run tomorrow, I believe. Yeah, she's gotta run tomorrow. It is a TA prog. I don't think there's much room. There's a melee slot open, so you can sign up in case there's any reserves needed or whatever. But if you're already on that run, you just got a little extra practice today. Next week, I'm going to do a early practice / TA prog is what I like to call it, where we're gonna do cleanup on the first couple fights and get some more TA prog in proper. If folks from tomorrow's run end up on my next week's as well, it's entirely possible we clear next week? ? So, put your big girl panties on, come prepared.
Honestly, I have to buy panties for the next raid, too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
required.
You didn't already have them? Yeah, sorry, you need panties and programmer socks? They make you code better, I don't know.
It's facts. Like...
They really do.
Anyway, much love, y'all. I hope people had fun, especially if they're new to it. I always love seeing, like, BA vets or Cough BA leads come into this content. I love just seeing, like, their reactions, because it's kind of like oh, I see. That's how the other side lives. But
Wait, this isn't BA.
Good job on coming down the pipeline, y'all. Welcome to the real content. The pipeline. Good job on getting piped, y'all. I'm glad y'all came to me to get piped first and foremost.
Those pipes were so crooked, though. Sheesh.
I mean, look, sometimes they bend to the left. They can't help it. Look, if you ever need to like pick out a member of Cafe who is the best at piping people, I'm your boy.
Oh, wait, you are your boy? I thought you were 5.
Yeah.
Your boy, aka your boy, fucking my first reclear I did on that cycle. Signed up to solo take and did it flawlessly after having cleared once. Motherfucker just like learned instantly and just didn't die to anything. I'm like, whenever somebody does that, I don't care if they've done like Savage and Ultimate shit, I'm still like super proud of that. I'm like, damn, alright, what's up? Motherfucker just crushed it. And you never know too, like someone's gonna crush it, someone might not crush it, but like a year from now, maybe somebody who struggled with this is like the fucking top parser of the content, like gone on a million runs, I don't know if any of y'all know Eric Dinglefart, but he started running like just a little over a year ago on one of my prog cycles, and now he is on every data center and we can't get rid of him. I love Eric, man.
The first time I was in a run with him, he was the duelist, and after the duel, the caller was like, "Now thank your duelist." So I was like, "Eric, I'm proud of you. I knew you could do it," and nobody was ready for that.
Eric's also got one of the best names in the entire game.
True.